Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be? Friendly referee today, because today we are playing the final of our charity mashup sessions for 2024. At the time of recording, we are a mere 4 days away from Christmas, and we are wrapping up the year's charity sessions with a pretty fun mashup. We are using, as our game tonight, or today, a Free League's version of Twilight 2000, the classic 80s perspective on the end of the world in the distant future of the year 2000. This game is set after a Cold War conflict had ended in kind of a nuclear Armageddon stalemate, and sees the survivors, either members of the military or otherwise, trying to make their way in a world that has largely fallen apart. And we are going to be using that to play a session inspired by Kenneth Haidt and Gareth Ryder Hanrahan's incredible Dracula Dossier. This is the director's handbook, the core book, I guess, for that thing, originally written for Night's Black Agents. The reason I found this to be I mentioned this to the players, who I'll introduce you to in a moment, but the reason I thought this was such an interesting pairing is because both of these are intended to be kind of improvised play. So a mega campaign that's designed to be improvised as opposed to stretched out and sketched out with specific adventures that you're passing through, and a game that really, Twilight 2000, is a survival game at its core, where that's where much of the rules are focused, and it's you building up your, whatever you want to do with your characters in the aftermath of that conflict. So this session will be a mashing up of those two, and unlike some of our other charity sessions, or at least our one-shots, this is not a scripted one either. There's a mission that at least the one of our survivors knows, and there is a world, but we're going to see what happens as we play. Let me introduce you to our survivors then. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we've got Darren.
Hello there, Darren. I am playing Tabitha Lewis, also known as Tabby, who is a mechanic in the US Army. Very nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I am playing Staff Sergeant Tex Gibbs. He is an Army Ranger, and I think that's all we need to know right now, right?
That's probably
everything's all we need to know in this game.
Exactly. Next up is James.
Hi, I'm James. I'm playing Campbell. She's a youngish woman. Doesn't say much. Got dark glasses. Got a camo smock. And you don't know where she's from.
She seems, to be the one in charge of this mission, though. So, and last, but certainly not least, is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm playing Corman Brandon Doc Nielsen, a marine physician who owes a debt of gratitude to Tex.
Very nice. Now, David, it's going to be a bit of a get out of your wheelhouse playing a physician today.
I know, right? I'll try my best.
And in a game originally published by GDW as well. So you are playing to a theme.
Are you part owner of this car?
I wish.
All right. So then, guys, our session will open. One of the things that the Twilight 2000 recommends you do, just pick a spot on a map and start playing. It's one of the things that is a little different from the other Year Zero Forbidden Free League games. So we're going to be taking a little bit of inspiration from that. So this, guys, is Poland, post end of the world. And you all had been seconded to work with Campbell on some mission. And fortunately, this occurred... Actually, let me move you just a scooch north. I want you right in the forest here. There you go. It's right there. You had been stationed in Lodz when the final offensive was going to be occurring in early April 2000. Fortunately, you were not there when that absolutely fell apart. And it may seem as if when that happened and that message went out to the NATO military indicating that you're on your own, you may think that there was more of the same. It was just a matter of same kind of devastated region that you found yourself in. But there's been something different. There's almost been like a stillness. And you had been hearing word of an illness that had been cutting its way through some of the support lines. And it's not quite clear what the illness was, but it was clear that it was affecting both sides. So the support leading up to the NATO initiative was seeing fewer and fewer things come to the front, although over the past years, that's not really been a surprise. But you weren't there when it fell and when everyone kind of scattered to the wind. What you have done is spent first a few days on road and then quickly found that you were forced to abandon the vehicle that you had and then acquired a new one. The last thing kind of civilized area you passed through was Radomsko, which is right here. Radomsko, it seems, has quite easily transitioned into the new era, and there are Soviet troops who have basically set themselves up as warlords there. You were in no capacity to face them, and they did seem fairly well supplied. And unfortunately, your destination was beyond there, a place called Shekachine, which is right here. Campbell knows that there is a farmhouse that is located south of Shekachine, and there is something there that she needs to meet up with and collect. All of you, I think, could safely assume she is part of the intelligence apparatus, probably CIA, but there is something curious in that she has a British accent, and a pretty noticeable one that she makes no effort to hide. So whether she is seconded to it or not is another question. What I've assumed is that you have gone off-road at Radomsko to avoid the marauders there, and you have been traveling southward towards Shekachine. I will say, for any Polish speakers at home, I have made an effort to look up how to pronounce all the things that will be appearing in this. My apologies if I get them wrong. So, also, I understand that the map, there are some errors in the map as well. So if there are communities that are located in the wrong part of Poland, I do apologize for that, but I didn't make the map. So we're just playing with as it is. There is also you've heard mixed news about Czestochowa, that there may or may not be something there, but Campbell has intel to suggest that you want to get nowhere near there for whatever reason. So you are bound for Shekachine. There's a farmhouse there that is supposed to have something in it that Campbell, or someone that Campbell needs to meet with or pick up. And the instructions that each of you got from your superiors made it clear that this is a critical effort for NATO. So this is something that, while Campbell may be playing it cool, and you're going to be passing through effectively at the end of the world, somebody cares enough to put a great deal of importance on this mission. It has been stressed to each of you that this must occur. Even the dogs are assuring you that this needs to get done. What I assume is that you have maybe come across some Soviet troops before, which is where you got some of the AKMs that you have in your supplies. For those who may have watched our previous session of Twilight 2000, we had these same characters. We're just playing in a different setting now. We're assuming the gear they secured previously. Who is... Someone's across the street. Just assume she's wishing a Merry Christmas each time, and it'll just seem like Christmas joy. So, Where you've concealed yourself with your polonettes is in this forest. So let me bring you over here. And this is sort of where we are, guys. I assume somebody has been up overnight, keeping watch. It has been a cool night. You can assume you've been traveling since you left Loads. It's been about a week. So you're into late April right now. The weather is every day seems to be getting a little bit better, but you're waking up. I can't remember. Do you guys have a tent or any camping supplies in your squad gear? No, you got a raincoat. You could fabricate stuff from, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But which of you? So we had talked before we went live about the 4 shifts that make up the day for Twilight 2000. Who would have been keeping watch, assuming that that's what you're going to do? Who's your lookout for the final stage, final shift of yesterday?
Well, is Campbell in charge? I mean, does Campbell assign the duties?
Yeah, I mean, because of the fact that our vehicle travels about as good as we do marching, Gibbs might be the one who's like keeping watch while we're marching. So he might be asleep now,
Okay.
because he's going to be marching while someone else drives. Kind of keeping watch, scouting ahead. He's a ranger anyway. But I mean, if you think that Gibbs should be on watch right now, that's fine. You can sleep in the car later, I guess.
What do you guys think?
Well, I guess what we'll do, take 4 hours each.
So you can't really
sorry,
do that in the
not.
game. Like you
Oh,
gotta,
okay.
yeah, you gotta pick somebody who's doing it, whose job is keeping
I'll take
watch.
the watch.
Okay.
You'll take watch for the final shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys might want to decide, because there's 4 of you. There is morning, day, evening, and night. And if you have, here's the way it works, is that if you have someone keeping, you don't need to, but if you have someone keeping watch, there's a chance that any encounter that may come, you may be able to spot it before it arrives, and you may be able to respond before it arrives. If you don't have anyone keeping watch, the encounter just occurs the way that it comes out. I can tell you thus far, those of you who may have let's see here. Yesterday, traveling over land. Okay, we can assume the vehicle has lost. What is the fuel consumption on the Polaris? Is it 1?
One.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's 4.
Yeah, so I'll assume that the fuel right now you've got, let's say, 30 for your fuel.
Okay.
30. As of this morning, you have over the past couple of days so let's say this is taking place on a Monday. It's probably easiest. Over the weekend, on Saturday, there was a rain of ash that welcomed you in the morning. You came across Soviet soldiers on that day who seemed inclined to shoot first rather than ask questions. You did come across and then nothing else of interest. Yesterday, you guys came across a bear den, and I'm assuming you guys gave it a wide berth. You came across, in the afternoon, a single locomotive, rusted and abandoned, where perhaps you grabbed some further supplies. And then otherwise, this brings you to today. So, Tabby, if you're the one keeping watch, why don't you give us it was Doc who was keeping watch. Doc, give us a recon check, please. Let's see if anything of interest. Okay. So that is no successes. You can live with that, or you could push it. If you push it, then any ones that show up will cause 1 stress.
Well, I think we should push this.
Okay.
Dangerous times out there. Can't be caught not doing my duty.
Yeah. There you go. Beautiful. All right. So, Doc, you've been keeping your eyes out for the day, for the evening. The polar nets you may think is obviously less than ideal for off-road travel. The types of environments you guys have been traveling through thus far have mostly been just like fields with small copses of trees in some places. I think of the Canadian prairies or the Great Plains in the U.S. for what some of these lowland areas are like. Lots of wide fields. But you're actually into some proper forest right now. Whether that's because you 2 days ago you encountered some Soviet patrols and decided to move in. Let's talk about where everyone's head is at right now, because while the mission itself was given to you with no uncertain, terms that this needs to get done, everything you would have encountered since then would suggest that everything has fallen apart. There's no organization, it seems, in either the Soviets or the NATO forces. So where do you think, Doc, since you're the one sitting up overnight, where's your head at right now? This cool day. So you're not dwelling on that ash fall from 2 days earlier? Where's my iodine tablets?
But he might actually. I think to keep himself awake during the watch, he'll be for the umpteenth time reorganizing the medical kit and sort of counting supplies and making sure they haven't lost anything or nothing has been spoiled. And he will possibly be thinking about that was a lot of ash. That's not good. There's something, pollution or radiation or something, and so going through the supplies to see, does he have anything that could help with that? Obviously realizing absolutely not. So I think that's where he'll be sort of trying to focus on the here and now, not big picture. That's
okay.
That won't get us anywhere. So he'll be rearranging his supplies again, trying to stay focused and awake.
Okay. We'll go maybe reverse order. Campbell, as you wake up on the, let's say it's the 21st. I should have looked up the year 2000, see what the Monday is. Where's your head at, Campbell? I'm going to look up the day. Oh, you're muted,
Count
James.
heads.
Oh, no, you're not.
Count heads. Check everyone's still here.
Okay. Everyone is, so you get up, everyone is still here. You've told us what you're doing, but you haven't told us how you're feeling.
A sense of urgency. Got to get a move on here. This is, while everything's gone to hell, there are things that got to get sorted right now.
Okay. So Campbell is up and seems to be at it right away. The tearing down the camp. What about Tex?
So is Tex waking up?
Yeah.
Right, he wakes up quickly, has a knife in hand, grabs his gun. His moral code is to make sure these people don't die. So when the shit hits the fan, they look to me. So him sleeping is like, it probably stresses him out. Plus, he probably can't sleep well because sees the faces of all his fellow Rangers who were killed in the evacuation, the rear guard. So he gets up very quickly.
Yeah, he's staff sergeant too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fuck,
yeah,
so he would have been...
He's part of the company NCO or something. Or platoon NCO. So he gets up really quickly, looks around, makes sure everything's quiet and okay.
Okay. And finally, Tabby.
Tabby, I think, will be feeling responsible with regards to the vehicle. Obviously trying to get everyone around, and he's just constantly tinkering with the vehicle, nursing it, make sure that nothing's going to break, checking things. When they went to that locomotive looking for spare parts, any tools, just if we need to get somewhere fast, we're going to need a vehicle, and the chance of getting a working one these days is getting rarer and rarer. So, just constantly focused on the vehicle, and yeah,
Okay.
making sure that doesn't break down on us.
All right. Then, what I can tell you is that the Polonaise did overheat yesterday. You had an unseasonably warm day, and as a result, it just driving through this terrain, it overheated. You had to stop here when you were intending on carrying on for some further distance. But today is another day. Now, do you guys have... I can't remember if you have rations or...
Yeah, we have on our sheet.
Okay.
I have rations on my character. Yeah,
Okay. So then, the thing to plan out is your day. I think I'll move us over to the map once again. Oh, I did. Hold on. There we go. Boom. So I think you guys have control. You may need to zoom in a scooch because this map is pretty big. Let me make sure you got control over... You do not. There we go. Boom. All players have control over the Polonaise now. So this is where you are now. The next hex south is going to be relatively open, which will be easier to drive, and you will be able to travel 1 hex per shift. Once you get to the one below that, that is getting into some woods. What I'm going to interpret too is anything that has like a road on it. I'm assuming there are back roads as well. So that's representing more like urbanized kind of areas. So once you get into here, you're going to benefit from the road speed of your vehicle, which means it's 10 per shift. Is that right? 10?
I thought it was
6. Oh, that's combat move. Yeah, travel speed 10. 10 for the vehicle. Yeah. What are your thoughts here, guys, for how you can expect those hills south of Shekashine are going to be kind of tricky to get through, and you have not yet heard what the circumstances are at Shekashine?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, guys?
So Shekashine at that crossroads then?
Shekashine is at crossroads, and last you heard it was contested territory.
Okay.
The places that you've heard of, Czestochowa, Campbell has just closed down any discussion of going there. The other kind of nearby at Katowice, down here, Katowice was bombed. So it's expected that refugees may have gone this direction or this direction. So that might inform what to expect at Shekashine or the area around there. But you don't necessarily need to go, absent there being any other kind of pressing concern, you don't necessarily need to go into Shekashine. You can go around. Okay. But what are you guys thinking?
Well, I believe we want to get there as quick as possible, don't we?
I think
go straight south across the sort of barren or the
straight south,
open ground.
Okay. So then what would everyone care to do for their task for the morning shift?
Do we just go, or do we need to prep, or we don't make camp until evening, you think?
Yeah, you don't make camp until evening.
So he's marching and watching. That's what Giv is going to do.
Okay. So if you guys could take a look at the tasks for each shift on page 139, maybe just put what task you're doing for morning in chat, so we all know what everyone's doing. Okay. So you can sleep in the back of cars, incidentally.
Yeah, I assume that, yes. As soon as I was on last watch, I'll catch up on my sleep.
Okay.
Go then. There isn't a skill for driving, is there?
I think it's under
there is. Yeah,
agility.
there is, yeah. I don't know how good's Campbell at that?
No, you can drive.
Well, no, I just thought as a mechanic he
probably is. No, he's a good
driver, but I don't know if you're better.
Driving? No, I've got no driving, so
Okay.
I don't know how to drive. Good grief.
Well, you do, but not well.
Not well.
I'll stick to driving.
Okay. So Tabby's driving. Tex is going to be keeping watch.
Yeah.
Doc's getting to sleep. So what do you want to do, Campbell?
Yeah, I will. Indeed, I'll march, keep watch as well.
Okay. So then all that'll do is grant whoever's got we're going to make the roll +1 step to whatever you're doing.
I start with AB, so I'd make the AA.
Okay, so then, yeah, why don't you give us an AA check? Nice. 2 successes. All right. And we also require a driving check from Tabby. And you get +1 to +1 step for driving. So what's your driving skill, Tabby?
C. So it goes up to B.
Well, what's your stat? The agility. I think it's agility, isn't it?
Oh, agility's B, sorry.
Yeah. So then it'll be BB, please.
Okay.
Here's your 1 success.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So, Doc, you were asleep in the back. Campbell, you are. You guys are moving down into this hex here.
Yep.
As you guys are moving along, let me make a check for this. So you picture you're moving through the same kind of forest for maybe the first half hour or so, and then you're pretty much out into open terrain. It's not particularly pleasant to be driving on here. There's a lot of bumpiness and whatnot, but Doc, it sounds like the exhaustion of having been up for so long and whatnot likely just overtakes you. Let me make a check here. Okay. There it is. Oop. Come on, Madison. Lest you guys think I do that for effect, I picked up a pan that I didn't realize had was fucking half full of water earlier today and spilled it all over the floor, and I'm like, come on, Madison. And Anna came in to check and see what was going on. All right, so Tex, I think you and Campbell, it's about maybe 10 o'clock in the day. So Doc is dead asleep in the back. Tabby is making her way along here. Tex, you're maybe out on one point, and Campbell, you're out on another. It's fairly wide open. Oh, and we've got, hold up. I forgot, we got the encounter distance. I love this game.
Yep.
It's something from...
it's that same table that has terrain types.
Oh, right, on the encounter one, which is not on the GM screen or referee screen. It would have been...
Weird.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have that on there, but what are you going to do? Justifies a second copy. All right. Let's give these.
Just because we put them on so much, I just use the PDF.
Let's see. So I think it's you reach a point where you're making your way through one of these, small little copses of trees that have maybe been built up decades, if not centuries ago, by the farmers as windbreaks for their things. And as you're about to leave this, the pulling edge is sort of bumping along, you can hear the sound of a group of men speaking in English with North American accents.
Do you get a signal? Maybe, hopefully, Tabby sees to stop the car, and I'm gonna crouch down and look if I can. If not, try to get closer.
Yeah, why don't you give us a... it's not called... Is it called stealth? No, it's not. It's called...
It's still recon.
Recon, right.
Right. Does everything, unfortunately.
Give us a recon
Alright,
check,
so
please. And
no
you'll get
bonus.
with the you're actually going to get plus one step up.
Oh jeez. I fail these, man. You gotta shoot me. All right. I
Nice.
succeed. The 8.
Okay. So let me roll this here.
It's so handy. That bottom dice thing.
Okay. So what you can hear, it sounds like there's 4 of them kind of yapping back and forth. If assuming Campbell kind of stays back with the vehicle and keeps her eye on you, you sneak to the edge of this group of trees and you look out, and about maybe 30 meters away, there's a field that seems to be overgrown. It looks like it was probably wheat at some point, but it looks very sickly, and there's weeds that have grown in around it as well, so it's untamed. There is a rusted and stopped tractor in the middle of the field here. And what you can see is there are 4 army servicemen who are arguing with one another over whether they can get it working again. They look in pretty rough shape. They have the look of, with torn, the tears in their clothing, the growth that's come in over their beard. They look like they have been out of pocket for probably a couple of weeks at least. And the way that their clothes kind of hang on them, they look pretty fucking haggard and likely hungry as well.
Okay. All right. I don't know if we have any extra food. Extra food. Well, I mean,
Do you want to go back and report, or do you want to make a call yourself?
he's a staff sergeant. I don't know. We could get some intel, honestly, and they're Americans.
So are you going back then?
No.
Okay.
He's gonna just, we said 4, right?
Yeah.
4, and then I'll just do this for Americans.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna kind of stand up, and I still have my AKM and just flash to
Okay.
the Americans.
So they turn. Hold on. And let me make a coolness under fire check for them, because they are a little rattled, and if you're carrying an AKM, they may make assumptions here. So, okay, got this one, and their morale is in the shitter. Oh, incidentally, your morale for your team right now. So when you're making what's called a coolness under fire check, you get to the 1 dice comes from your cuff score, your coolness under fire score. The other one comes from your morale, the unit morale. Assume your unit morale is at a C right now. Okay. So they turn around. They are armed with M16s, each of them, and they kind of turn around and see you. And they kind of look at one another, and then one of them finally salutes, and then the other 3 kind of do the same.
Well, I go.
Sir?
I tell them not to salute, but, because if there's any Russians, might be Russians around. I go, Staff Sergeant, Army Rangers.
All right. They give you 4 names here, which are, let's see.
I guess I can start calling the guys up.
So, well, first, they just give you surnames, I think. Harris, Clark, Lewis, and Robinson.
It says Gibbs, Staff Sergeant, 101st.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
I didn't think... Sergeant, are you on your own?
Yeah, I got some survivors with me. Sorry for the Russian weapon. I don't know if our ammo is plentiful, but we ran into some Soviets. Took their gear.
They looking like good. They're looking back.
They won't be needed anymore.
Yeah, so you guys are in. Tabby, have you done any effort or made any effort to try and like avoid bringing this, bright red car out, or are you?
Well, as soon as I got a signal, I'd have just stopped in my tracks.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a go ahead or come forward, sort of wave. But I wouldn't have like driven off into cover or anything.
Okay. So let me make a recon or a recon check for them. You said you got a vehicle, Sergeant?
Yeah, if you call it that.
Well, we were trying to get this thing.
Not
He gestures back. This thing moving.
I got a mechanic. They can take a look at it.
You kind of look at one another. You got fuel?
Maybe.
Look at one another. All right. Sergeant, how many of you are there? See, is that a woman driving?
It's support staff, men, women. Takes all kinds,
All right. Well, Campbell, what are you doing at this point?
I will be working my way sideways through the bushes.
Okay.
I'm hearing the sound of talking now.
Yep.
I have my AKM unslung.
Okay. Give us a recon check, please, with one step up. Or +1 modifier.
Recon. One step up. Okay.
What's your recon? Nice. Okay. Anyone who's hiding is always the one who is the opportunity to push. That's not quite good enough. Did you want to push?
I guess I'd better.
Okay.
So I will.
So just roll that one. You keep
roll
that.
the one.
Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. So you got yourself positioned precisely where you want. Tex, what do you do?
I'm gonna say this thing, my M16 is kind of itching me. I'm just gonna unsling it, scratch my back.
Okay.
I put my AKM down and unsling my M4 because it does have a special on it.
And he kind of they're like, Sarge, we don't mean any trouble.
Boys are asking too many questions. We're here to help. You can join us or not, or move on your own.
Why don't you give us a persuasion check, please?
Okay. So it's going to be a C for me.
Okay.
I have more command than persuasion, my dude.
Oh, take a look at your specialties too, guys. I forgot to mention those are sort of the special ways that your characters are distinguished from others. You know what? RHIP, you can use command instead if you like.
Oh, that's fine. I got a success. I can roll that extra D6 if you want. My command is...
Oh, you only rolled the one. Okay, yeah. No, you're good. Okay. I rolled their coolness under fire. Right now, you're not beating them. So why don't you roll that D6 and let's see what comes from that.
Okay. 6.
Nice. Okay, so you got 2. So you did. They sort of look at one another. Like, we don't mean anything, Sarge. We're just... Look, we just want to make it back to... Where are you going? Where you going? You going back to loads?
No, we got something else going on.
Well,
actually, I wonder, would I know about Krakow and it's kind of quote unquote safe haven? Would I know that?
I don't think so yet because you were still in the military structure, sort of.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know. We're traveling south. North is a shit show. South, maybe, I don't know. Mediterranean, who knows?
Well, they kind of look at each other. Do you at least got food?
Can leave you some food.
Well, where are you going? You say south safe? Oh, more hands.
Well, that's where we're headed. I know north is bad, and west and northwest Soviets.
Well, we heard Shakashines. There's still some Soviets there.
So I guess we'll avoid that one too. Stick off road.
One of the other guys, Harris, says, "Are you going south then? We can go with you. Better numbers, right?"
Yeah, I would say there's safety in numbers if we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the page. We're on your page. And one of them, Robinson, says, "Yeah, if you got food, we're on your page, Sarge." Tex, you have a feeling that these guys are, for whatever reason, responding to your command, as it were. There's just enough of a recognition of the chain of command for them to have been listening to you, but they seem pretty... any question of how they have been since they've been out of pocket is likely confirmed by just the way that they're acting.
Yeah. I mean, we got food in a dock. Can check you guys out.
Got a dock as well?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I'm not going to mention Campbell. I'll let Campbell be Campbell. That's probably the safest thing, just in case.
So they're, they're still carrying their guns, but they're not. Tabby, you're overhearing all this as well, and you've got Doc sleeping in the back. So if you want to wake him up at any point.
I think Tex has got it in control at the moment, so I'll let Doc sleep for now.
Okay.
But
there are rules for interrupting activities, too. There's kind of like depending on how substantially it interrupts your stuff, then it can or cannot allow you to still get your intended activity in. So what do you do then, Tex?
I mean, I could, I did say that we could have Tabby take a look at it, so I could call Tabby up and have him take a look at the tractor, get that going.
Are you leaving the pole nets in the trees then, Tabby?
How far away are we from sort of covering trees?
Like 30 meters. In the trees themselves, it's a very small, like maybe like 20 meters across at the most, and then you were coming out of this stuff.
Yeah, so I'll pull over close to where I think Campbell sort of headed, so that he can sort of keep an eye on the car and the dock while I have a quick look.
If you look over, you may have had your attention focused more on Tex, but like if you look over, where the fuck is Campbell? Because Campbell did roll like 3 successes. So you have no earthly idea where she's disappeared to.
Okay, I think probably know him well enough to sort of make a judgment, keeping an eye on things. So I'll rely on Campbell.
Okay. So what do you do then?
Yeah, so I'll get close to the woods in case there's any sort of Soviet activity or anything, or and just pull up the car, and then I'll walk over to the tractor with my bag of tools, whatever I've managed.
You look in the back, Doc seems to have really needed this rest because he's fucking dead asleep. You make your way over and take a look. Now, if you're intending on doing any substantive work on this thing, that's going to be another shift's activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to give it a glance, look over, and go, nah, written off, or no, with a bit of work, you could get that. So it's just a sort of diagnostic.
There's absolutely no way. This thing must have been here for 50 years. Like, there's no fucking... They're dreaming to think that they would be able to get this thing moving again.
Yeah, I sort of have a look under the bonnet or whatever, and I say, you're wasting your time with this, and I just kick the tire and just sort of pack up my stuff.
Okay.
Like,
so maybe leave them. How much rations did you say we had?
When the squad thing, there was 14, and then I think we've got our own personal supply.
Give them a couple days.
if they're on foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 11 or 12 days to Krakow, if that's what their destination is.
Well, a couple days, and then they can scrounge around, and can't give them everything.
Yeah.
They have no food. It seems.
They have, sorry?
They have no food, right?
They have no food. No. And it looks like they, like they're carrying their guns around, but you're beginning to suspect that they may not have, if they have bullets in them, there's really not many.
Okay.
Only one of them has a backpack, and the way it hangs, it makes you think there's nothing in there.
Yeah, we could have Tabby grabbing some couple, MREs each or whatever, the equivalent of.
What are the Soviet? Yeah, because you guys had scavenged. I think those scavenged ones were from Soviet troops.
I know it's Soviet MREs, boys, but hey, it's food.
Foods, we'll take it, Sarge.
And I'll keep watch. But
It's a potato.
Yeah.
and a shot of vodka.
With so more potato. With I'm trying to think here. Why don't you give us a recon check, both Campbell and Tex, please. No modifiers.
Oof.
Okay.
Sorry.
So when that comes up, there's no penalty for the first time. It's just only if you push.
Yeah, I'm gonna push the.
Nice. Okay.
D10.
So roll that D10. Yeah. Nice. There you go.
Okay,
so you get one stress on this. Yeah. Let me put your giant. Look how big you guys are.
Wow.
Literal titans. In there we go. So it gives it's you're finding you're really having to keep an eye on these guys because they are they're not so squirrely that like they're an obvious threat, but there's just a couple, like there's a thing that one will say that'll just be like, what? And they'll be like, just kidding, I'm just just hungry, Sergeant. And once Tabby collects the food and gives it to him, if you're giving a couple of days, that's 8 rations, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do? They note that you said you're going south, so like, can we travel with you? More eyes, more hands.
I think maybe it's best we strike out on our own. Less chance of being. I give them the opposite argument. Less chance of being seen by Soviets.
Yeah. Give us a persuasion check, please, with +2 steps in it.
Can I just put that all on the persuasion step?
What's your persuasion? Or
no persuasion.
No persuasion. And the what is it? Wits? No, what's the final stat?
Empathy.
Empathy.
Empathy. Empathy, and then I guess what's your empathy?
Is a C.
A C. So then it'll be 2 C's.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, come on. All right.
Push that?
Yeah, I gotta roll that D8 again.
Okay. Come on. There you
6.
go.
Stress still though. More stress.
All right. So you you may have as you're talking to them, they're pushing back a little bit about it. Like, no, but charge. And it goes beyond what they're trying to help you with to being a little desperate, to the point where you maybe even like kind of slide the safety off because like it may come to this. Campbell, you're picking up everything that is going on as well from where you're concealed. But text, go ahead.
On the plus side, I'd never had my safety on in the first place. So.
Do ACAMs even have one? A safety?
Fortunately, Gibbs, you, after the last little bit, and the way there's a conviction that you give to being like safer if we're on our own.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look at you, they look at the car, they look back at you. Yeah, you're right, Sarge. Thanks for the food. All right, come on, guys. And they start shambling off. they spare more, like almost each of them gives you one kind of like desperate kind of look back at you, and they all keep carrying on.
I'll look at them through the M4 scope.
Yeah. You can see that there is a bit of back and forth if you're talking to them. There's a bit of back and forth as if like they aren't happy with how that played out, but I think you read the situation absolutely correctly. These are really desperate guys, and they, yeah. So, but fortunately, that is resolved. Now,
I jump on the car and get some distance, I would suggest.
Yeah. Okay.
I can still watch from the car, but, you know.
Campbell, what do we see when you come back?
Yeah, I'll reappear from the bush once I've checked they've gone. Yeah, I'll step out and safety on and over the shoulder again. Well done, Gibbs.
So I have Gibbs as a Campbell is Gibbs' buddy on my sheet. When I know Campbell's first name.
Campbell, what do you think? Or are you only known as Campbell?
I'm only known as Campbell.
Sorry, Campbell.
My first name.
Campbell, I was hoping. Sorry, Campbell. I was hoping. I'm hoping. You know.
No,
they're kind of
getting rid of them.
They look kind of too desperate. I'm pretty sure you had our 6.
Campbell, do you have training in command?
Do I have training in command? No, I don't.
So you can give us if you'd like, you give an untrained command roll, try and reduce Gibbs' stress.
Okay.
Just because you're... Oh, actually, hold on. You get +1, so you'll be able to roll the d6 because... I can't remember if Campbell's buddy is Tex or not.
I don't know.
Campbell's buddy is Tabby.
Oh, okay, so because Tex values you, though, I'll give you the +1 if you're trying to restore it.
Okay, let's give that one a go.
No.
Ooh.
Do you want to push that?
Yeah, why not? Ooh, that sucks.
Okay.
That's all right. You didn't get any stress on it.
Okay, so what you could do, though, yeah, so every shift you spend resting, which is not necessarily sleeping, but just not doing anything, so you could sit in the car and chill out while Campbell keeps watch next shift. That would reduce your stress by 1.
Okay, that might be a good idea. Although I would suggest Campbell look back and make sure they don't follow. Show her you the M203.
Okay. Then
just in case.
Noon comes. Doc, you're awake. Oh, that felt good, boy. So,
did I miss anything?
Gibbs is in the back with you. He says, "Yeah, you missed all the excitement, Doc."
Just my luck.
So,
what? You look like you needed to sleep, brother.
What does everyone want to do for the day shift? You can put in chat.
Gibbs will be resting. Yeah, Gibbs will be resting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll walk in front of the car.
So you're keeping watch, okay?
100 meters ahead or whatever.
Okay.
Guess I'll keep driving.
Okay.
I'll keep watching.
Okay. So if 2 of you are keeping watch, then that'll give... which of you 2 wants to give us the recon check?
How good are you at Doc? I'm a BC.
C.
Sounds like probably should be me then.
Okay.
Then I'll be a double B.
So you get a...
Maybe I should just go to sleep then. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you could get... sleep...
No, I'll do the resting. That's probably better. It's probably a little too...
Sleep only gives 1 back anyway, actually. Yeah. Okay. So then, Campbell, so was that your roll? No, that's not your roll.
No, rolling now. Oh, that's not good.
Would you like to push that?
Yeah, I can only push to 1, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 1 stress for Campbell. I think maybe the Gibbs' comment about the folks following, right, to keep an eye on them. There's just once or twice where you keep looking over. Doc was keeping watch. Tabby, give us a driving roll. Now you guys are moving once again into some more woodland area, so I'm going to split the difference. It'll be no modifier for your driving roll here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you got your success. And that doesn't mean anything because you didn't push the one.
Okay.
All right, so you're bumping along. Let's see what... okay. So let me see here. Where is my referee manual? Okay. Here we go. That is C and C. Okay. So you guys are moving along. It is getting into the actual meat of the day now. Gibbs, you're able to reduce your stress by 1 because you're chilling out for the afternoon. Campbell, you're not keeping watch here, or you are, but perhaps your attention is focused more on what's behind. So you guys come above a bit of a rise, and you don't know how you missed this before, but there's a small tendril of smoke that's coming up about 200 meters ahead and to your right. You kind of double blink, and the smoke itself is the kind you'd see from a campfire, big billowing kind of thing, but there's a little bit of a blackish quality to it. And from where you can see, it looks like there is, because you've got a clear enough view to where this place is, there's no structures around there, there's no tents that are erected. There's some kind of, from where you are, you can see there's some kind of like wooden structure, or like wooden in the sense of like someone's fabricated some kind of rack or something like that. Do you have any...
I've got binoculars.
Oh, beautiful.
So I think I would get down into the grass and get my binoculars out and have a look.
So
scan around it.
If you look with your binoculars, what you can see is the structure. You see, it's a hunter's drying rack. Someone's put together some kind of improvised rack. The fire likely is a cooking fire. The black is probably the drippings of meat hitting the fire itself, but there's no sign of the hunters there.
I think I'd gesture to get myself up high enough and gesture to work our way around it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So if you guys do, you're able to work your way around. There is no sign of who those hunters may be or where they are. If you're using your binoculars to kind of look around, you can give us a recon roll. Campbell, this will not with any modifiers. Oh, no, with your binoculars, we'll give you 1 step, actually, I think.
Okay.
There you go. So I think if you're looking around, you can see very briefly there's the glint of light hitting what's likely a scope. And if you were to guess, there are hunters hidden in a nearby place with weapons trained on you. You assume.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be taking any action against you, though.
Yeah, let's keep going and keeping away.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, guys, that brings us to the evening. So you can travel more than 2 shifts by doing a forced march, but doing so exposes you to potential exhaustion. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you camp today?
I'd reckon so. get
Yeah, I say we
to.
can't because we should hit like some roads or something tomorrow that can give us more distance. There's no point in counting ourselves out.
Okay. Mark off 4 rations, whether from your sheet or from
No, take
the
mine. No.
things. And then what do you guys wish to do with your evening? If you put in chat what you want to do with your evening shift. And if so, Doc's had his sleep for the day. Nobody else has thus far. Making camp is one. Whoever has the best survival is probably best suited for that.
Survival. I have an AC in survival, but I was gonna.
Yeah, I'm AD.
And be nothing.
Same.
Okay. 2 more fuel has been consumed too. So you're down to 28, I believe.
Probably, I think it's 4 because we're off road. It's double,
Oh, right.
but it's gasoline. Fortunately, it's not. Then it's not quite.
Gasoline is not which?
So, like, if you use like ethanol, it's like double.
Oh shit.
it's-
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only 4 in total. Right. Got it.
That's
Okay.
We get chips. Shoot.
So
Yeah, I mean, I could make camp. Someone can cook. I guess we don't need to cook. I guess we got rations.
someone could
Yeah,
forage or scrounge.
What does making camp do for us? Too?
Making camp is survival.
But what is it? Does it do anything, or does it
It
just have to?
making camp. If you will succeed, you find a sheltered place for the night where you can all find cover from incoming fire and rest up for the day. If it fails,
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Right, so that's survival, you said?
yeah. And is anyone keeping watch while this is going on too? So who's
I'll
going to?
keep a watch while that's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So I
then-
guess someone can scrounge or forage or whatever too, right?
Yep. Someone could scrounge or forage.
Making
Doc,
camp.
Tabby, what are you thinking of doing? Okay, so Tabby's going to scrounge.
Not making a cape, I'm making camp.
You're making camp. Okay, Campbell's keeping watch. What about you, Doc?
I think I'll try and forage.
Okay. All right. So then let's start with Campbell. Give us your recon check, please. No modifiers here, just your.
No modifiers. Oh,
You want to push that?
I'll push it. Yep.
Nice. Okay. And let's go left to right this time. Tabby, you're scrounging.
Is that a survival, is it? Oh,
It is. Yes, survival as well.
okay.
Modified by the terrain type. Hold up.
Oh,
Holy
Okay.
shit. Let me make sure that there's no. Oh, that's a great roll. Okay, so open. No modifiers for scrounging, so there you go.
2.
All right, so would you give us 2 D100 rolls, please?
Yay.
Demon
stuff.
Hunters.
Did you find that?
Oh,
What?
wow.
What the fuck?
We're rolling an AD&D character there.
So we're
and
rolling.
you stumble across a Michelin star restaurant, which was
Yeah, so here's the thing. We're going to roll 8 times now. So would you give us a roll
Jesus.
of, I guess, 8 D100, please? Because each of those is 4 rolls on the table.
Jeez.
Wow.
Found a cache or something.
Something's going on.
Okay, so I'm going to go in order here. So if I'll go slow so you can write down. You find a lady's hat. You find a frying pan,
Oh, nice.
which gives you +1 cooking. You find a hunting bow.
Nice.
You find a lawnmower, which could be salvaged for some general spare parts. You find a desk lamp, which could be salvaged for electronic parts. Roll twice on the table. I'm going to ignore that one and just say that you find a yellowed copy of Twilight 2000 RPG First Edition. 77. You find a ski hat, which will grant +1 to stamina against the cold.
I don't know why. I think I was only meant to roll 8, wasn't I? I rolled 10 for some reason.
Oh, did you? Okay, I'll ignore the last two. Oh, so this will be the last one here. You also find, gosh, all this shit may have been actually in this. There's a tent that fits 4, which grants +1 to make camp.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to worry about the encumbrance of all that stuff or the weight, because you've got the vehicle. So you're going to pile that shit in the back of the vehicle. But that's a pretty good haul that you find, Tabby. I assume it's a campsite that was abandoned in a hurry or whatever that you found all this shit kind of piled up at.
That's cool.
Nice.
Nice. Tex, just give us so unfortunately the tent was found this shift, so you're not going to benefit from that. But give us a survival check, please. Nice.
Woohoo!
Let's see if you get anything extra from a better result. Isn't anything listed, so let's say that you just get rid of another level of stress.
Okay.
It just this feels like, busy work that is rote that you could do this in your fucking sleep. So maybe that's a little bit of there's satisfaction in that. Campbell's giving us our lookout. Doc, why don't you give us your survival check for foraging? And hold on, the modifier, it's summer, so there's no modifier. Actually, it's spring, I guess, so there's -1. And then the terrain grants -1 as well, so actually be -2 to foraging. So you will get a chance to re-roll, but you'll be rolling a d6. Okay. You could push that if you like.
Sure, let's live on the edge.
Okay. Love it. Nice! Excellent. All right, so then that will be...
That's good. Foraging is good.
Oh, you choose whether you're looking for food or water. Make a survival roll. And...
food, because we used up rations and gave them away to those
okay.
less fortunate than us.
So you find a number of rations of wild food, page 131, equal to the number of successes you rolled. So you've got 1 bit of wild food. Let's see here. There's a subtable. B, a subtable. There's not. Edible roots and plants. It spoils after a week. Each daily ration of wild food weighs 1 full encumbrance unit, as the energy content is low. But you got something. Let's see if anything interesting happens. Okay. Guys, your camp is made. Your stuff is ready. We're ready for the evening. The night. So last night it was Campbell, Gibbs, and Tabby who slept for the night shift. And then Doc kept watch. Is that going to be the same thing again?
I believe so.
Yep.
I need to sleep still.
Okay. So you 3 sleep. Doc, would you give us a... what do you call it? A recon check, please. No modifier.
We start calling Doc Vampire.
What?
There you go. All right. So, Doc, let's go over to the woods again to situate ourselves. Campbell, you are going to recover your stress by getting a good night's sleep.
There you go.
Doc, what's going through your mind? You've heard now about I guess, did anyone tell you told you guys weren't, did you tell Doc that you ran into those American soldiers?
Yeah, we probably were talking about it because we were,
What context did you give to it? Did you make him think that they were, did you tell him about how kind of squirrely they were? Or did you just say, like, hey, we ran into some guys, they seemed hungry, and we sent them on their way?
No, I just say they're desperate, so just, stay frosty. They'd be foolish I don't think they had a lot of ammo, but you know.
Mhm.
So, Doc, the evening is still once again. There has been the distant sound of thunder, which you know is artillery, you know, over intermittently over the past, years, I guess. But there's nothing tonight. There's just you, the campfire, and the open kind of plains around you guys. There are actually trees or woods in this hex as well too, but you guys have gone more in the woods, do you think, to camp, or more in the open?
I would suggest woods, but
Okay.
I think, we'd have gone on the edge at least, wouldn't we? Get some cover.
Okay.
Yep.
So it is around maybe 3 or so in the morning. You've done your rearranging of the med kit once again, Doc. You're doing the stock of, the stuff you've covered. There's the pile of crap that Tabby managed to recover. Perhaps
I'm sure he'll flick through the rule book of
yes.
see how much of it.
Soldiers at the end of a Cold War era war. What could this possibly be like?
prognosticator. Yeah.
And what you Doc, what you hear is it's something. It's really curious. It sounds like a woman laughing, and it sounds like it's got to be, a couple 100 meters off in the dark. But the curious thing about it is that it's approaching fairly quickly. And it seems to be, as it's getting in, it's coming from above. Does anyone have a flashlight or torch? Torch, I mean in the British slang sense. Not the D&D sense.
Yeah.
I guess, Doc, more so you. Like, do you have...
Not on my gear, no. I have a lot of painkillers.
So, the Doc, you can imagine, like, the only light you've got right now is what's illuminated by the campfire, right? And then there is the blackness up there. And what you can hear is this woman laughing. And then it surges across the sky. And you can hear her cackling. And she seems to come back a second time, but you cannot see her. You can only hear it. And this laughing, this maniacal laughing, just fills the stillness of the night. And as soon as it starts, it's gone. Could you give us a coolness under fire check? And unfortunately, because you're on your own, you don't get the benefit of morale.
What's the starting value for it?
There is. Hold on.
I've self-listed as D.
Yes, I think I think this might be you, because the branch you serve in kind of informs what your coolness under fire. It can change over the course of play, but yeah. If you got a so it'd be just you want to push that? Oh, I don't think you can when you're on your own. So, Doc, you're going to suffer 2 stress from this, and why don't you tell us how he reacts?
He'll definitely reach for his gun, and that's probably sort of him just sort of staring up, and that's not crossing his senses, because obviously this makes no sense. And then he'll sort of look at the food and, God, did I pick the wrong mushrooms earlier? Did I put something that's just like awful poisoning us? And then he'll start sort of worrying about his companions. He'll probably, possibly interrupting their sleep, I don't know, but rush over to make sure they're okay in case these whatever mushrooms were in the soup Oh, his mind will just sort of raise, and
Sure.
he'll try and check on his companions to make sure they're okay.
Doc's buddy
Maybe some
is
sort of
Tabby,
hallucinogenic
right?
gas.
Is
Yeah.
Doc's, so Tabby, you're the first one gets woken up. Doc's got a fucking wild look in his eye, and it's fucking dark here too. The only light you can see is maybe reflected from the campfire.
Yeah, I think she'd be a bit confused, sort of middle of the night.
Are you okay? How many fingers am I holding up?
4?
Can you hear her?
Hear who? Campbell?
The woman in the trees.
There's nothing but stillness.
What are you talking about? I think she'd instinctively go to the car and turn the like full beam lights on.
And it's got that like quality, horror movie perfect of lights going on. You can see the mist drifting across the beams.
And just sort of look around. I can't see nothing.
Tabby, would you give us a recon check, please?
Oof. So if she's got nothing next to recon, you just roll a 1 dice, yeah?
Just roll, yeah, whatever your. If you click on it, it'll roll just your stat.
All right. Yeah.
So when you flash the lights on, for the briefest of seconds, you can see that there is the coloring of the uniform is that tan brown, that Soviet brown. But there is a woman standing there, pale, wild hair, like clearly not appropriate for service, not the kind of bun that the female service members are expected to maintain. Pale, like where it doesn't look like, with the white of the lights, like a walking corpse. Blood seeming coming from her eyes. And as soon as you see her, she just moves to the side. Not armed in any way, no firearms in her whatsoever. Tabby, I'd like you to give us a coolness under fire check, please. You can benefit from morale, because Doc is with you. Okay. So you're going to take 1 stress from this.
Okay.
So you did see a woman. Doc, you could give us a recon. I don't think you knew she was going to do that, so you wouldn't. By the time you look over, gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking in the car. Oh, sorry, David. You're talking in the car, so I think Tex and Campbell, you probably are like, what the fuck's going on?
Yep.
So, sorry, David, you were saying?
Does Tabby make a sound when she sees the woman briefly?
Yeah, I don't think she'd scream or anything. I think it'd be sort of, open mouthed, just like, God, there was something there, and she'd be scrambling for some sort of gun in the car.
Yeah.
She's not.
She's got something, I think, but it might only be a pistol.
No, I think she has got some gear. But yeah, she'll just be grabbing an M16 or something out of the car.
So you're going to want to
definitely something out there.
Yeah, you're going to have to step out of the vehicle to. Pulling nets is very good for many things. Wielding rifles is probably not one of them.
No.
So Campbell and Tex, you wake up kind of from where you are in the back, and you're looking over. Doc looks pretty agitated, and he's got a weapon out. Tabby has just jumped out of the vehicle and has grabbed her gun.
Oh, I roll over and grab the AKM.
Okay. Campbell, what are you doing?
Same thing.
Okay.
I'll roll out with it, my AKM.
So you guys have all spilled out of the vehicle.
As you do, Doc will look over and say, "There's a woman in the trees." With a slightly, eyes wide, slightly, unfocused look in his eyes.
Where'd she go? And I'll be just like scanning around. She moves so fast.
You saw her?
Yeah. She was in front of the car.
One of ours or one of theirs?
It looked like was it Soviet uniform? But she looked messed up, real bad.
As in injured?
A lot of blood on the face.
Doc, maybe you should call out to her and see if she needs help.
Doc swallows hard.
He said blood. She's injured. That's what I heard.
Sure. Then he'll sort of voice slightly trembling will call out, hello, we mean you no harm, while holding a gun.
Yeah.
And I'll shout out in Russian. Come on out.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
We saw you.
There's a 10-second break. 20 seconds. And then you can hear from off in the darkness again peals of laughter that seems to then suddenly move off. It continues, but it's moving off at a pace that you would think someone would be on a vehicle. You can hear no engine. It's a good 2 minutes before I think any of you can kind of speak to one another once the silence returns. What do you do?
Doc, what'd you put in the soup?
No.
Those herbs? Those herbs you found?
I hope that's what it is.
I'm not making Tex and Campbell make a check because I don't think or coolness under fire. You know what? Fuck it. Let's have each of you. You will get the benefit of the morale, so you get the D8 from morale, as well as
I can't push that, can I?
I don't think you can push cuff checks. But let me double check. I thought I read that, but I was kind of cramming for this exam, so.
I guess we.
Coolness under fire.
Sucks.
60. Oh, did you both fail? Okay, let's see here. Coolness under fire.
Should be quite easy too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just good.
Oh, after each session in which you rolled a cuff, you have a chance to improve your cuff, by the by.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, here we go.
I think it's fun.
I'm just looking at suppression here. You cannot push cuff if you fail. It's not a skill roll. So both Tex and Campbell, you each take 2 stress. Campbell, maybe because of the unknown. Or sorry, Gibbs, or Tex, maybe because of the unknown. I did this last time too. I forgot to fucking change your token name. I kept going with the wrong name.
Sorry.
There you go. Tex, got it. Okay. Campbell, perhaps because you know something more. What's the look on Campbell's face when everyone looks over? This will be one of the few times maybe where she's not wearing those mirrored sunglasses.
Still fairly impassive.
I mean, you just
Maybe
suffered
a
2 stress.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gibbs is running to the nearest
turn on the
tree.
heel and head back to the car. Just not.
If I might suggest something,
Uh-huh.
maybe it's the reason she wears the shades all the time is because her towel is in her eyes.
So a good hard blink and the shake of the head at the rest of them and head back to the car. This is a grim look. This is not good. Not good.
With all of you bedding down, you are able to get what you need for sleep for Tabby, Tex, and Campbell, but because it was interrupted, you're not going to be able to recover any stress this shift. And Doc, you were keeping watch. Morning comes. Tuesday, April 25th. If you could put down what your tasks are for your shift. You should be able to make better time today as well.
Yeah. Right. I think we want to avoid that town, right? City.
Shikishine?
Yeah, Shikishina. I guess we want to go around to the west of it. we have to go end up being south of it.
Can we use the road to get close and then cut down the west?
So
Or-
with because these each of the hexes covers like 10 kilometers, what I'm assuming is anything that's got a road on it, there's like side roads and whatnot as well. So you're driving on it, but it's not like one single highway. You might be traveling along the main road, but you'll be able to travel at the increased rate. So for this shift, depending on how long you're following the road. So the way, just as an offset to this, a lot of the encounters are triggered by, this is just behind the screen, by different conditions. So every shift I draw an encounter, if it matches up with the time of day, the location, and whatever, then the thing occurs. Roads have a lot of fucking encounters, and a lot of them are more challenging than what the others are. So you do get to travel quite a bit, but the chance of a more significant encounter is higher on a road. So where you're going to need to get is this hex down here, south of Shikashine. That's where the farmhouse is.
Yeah. So how urgent is it that we get there? Do we want to take our time a bit?
No, we got to get there.
So this shift, what you could do is get all the way to either there or like through here, and then next shift reach the farmhouse.
Do that then. I'll take that route. If we need to get there quick, I'll take the road as much as possible and then go through that wood. Yeah.
Okay. So Doc
Oh yeah,
is
then
gonna
if that case, I'm not marching then. If we're taking the mostly road, then I'm not marching. I'm watching. Well, I don't think I can rest and watch. I'll just be watching.
You can keep watch, or you can rest.
Yeah. I'll just be watching.
Okay. So Gibbs is going to keep watch. Tabby is going to drive. Doc is sleeping, and Campbell, are you watching as well, or you want to get a rest to get some of that stress back?
You're right. I should probably just rest in the car as well.
Okay.
I will straight off. Yeah.
So then, first off, let's have there we go. Let's have Tabby give us a driving check, and because you're on roads, you get +3 to your driving.
+3. Wow, it's double A.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay. I think maybe there's why don't you take, because you got one more, why don't you take one stress off as well for today? You were just cruising and relaxing. There's something about the soothing nature of these roads.
Yeah, nice.
Gibbs, would you give us a recon check? And I don't think there's any modifiers for roads.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Want to push that?
Roll that 20. Yeah,
Okay.
I will. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I mean, we just read the one that you didn't re-roll. So, shit. So you one more stress. What's going through Tex's mind?
I don't know. He's pretty agitated. He's probably like, I don't know what will happen when he goes to complete stress. He's just very agitated.
Yeah.
So things aren't processing right. He doesn't want to. He's probably going over. I don't want to lose these guys too. Maybe we should just open fire on this.
Campbell, you can reduce 1 stress, and Doc, you can reduce 1 stress. Okay. So you can picture this is mixed forest and trees. I'm assuming you're sticking to the back roads because if those Americans were correct and Shikashine is still under Soviet control, there's likely going to be patrols on the outskirts of the city. And as you're making your way along, Tabby, you guys come around one of these kind of side roads. You only use 1 fuel for this shift as well because of you're not going over land. And Tex, I don't know what you don't really clock what's going on until Tabby kind of brings the car to a stop. And about 100 meters ahead, on a small stretch of roadway, there is a Jeep that is just off the side of the road. It's not turned over, but it seems to have lost control and gone down. And it looks like there is a body hanging out of the vehicle. Pretty ratty uniform, torn up in a lot of ways, but it is distinctively that NATO green.
Huh.
What do you guys do? This is a NATO vehicle. I mean, a Jeep this far behind is unusual.
Could be an upgrade.
What are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, if no one stops them, Tex is going to get out and start approaching cautiously, weapon out.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Yep. I'll get out, unsling my AKM, and cover Tex as he moves forward.
Okay.
I'll keep the vehicle running and just sort of watch in case we need to make a quick getaway or something.
Okay.
Yep.
And
I'll
Doc
have
is...
to use the door as a shield.
Sorry, Doc. Everything interesting happening while you're sleeping. So how was the session? Well, it involved a lot of me watching. Let's see here.
It's a classic Asterix and Obelix book where they go. They're traveling through Switzerland, and Obelix is drugging us asleep all the way through, and they slide down mountains and drag him up and all the rest of it. And at the end, he wakes up, and they say something else. How was that journey through Switzerland? He said, "I'm very flat."
So this is... I didn't upload the image, but there, of course, is the Army Jeep. Tex, as you're going forward, why don't you give us a recon check at +2 steps?
Okay. I mean,
You got plenty of opportunity to...
Does he look dead? I guess we'll find out. There you go.
Nice. All right. So as you're making your way forward, for one, why don't you... I know this isn't rule. So the rules is written for those listening at home, just so I can save myself the comments. I know that you don't recover stress the way it is. We're playing a horror kind of version of this, so we want to have some pushing and give and take with these. Tex, you're going to recover 1 more stress from just being back on task here.
Yeah.
As you're approaching, it does sound like there's a dog somewhere, but there also... As you're approaching, what you can see, the person is out, and your first thought, unfortunately, in the course of the Twilight War, you've seen what a rat picked over corpse, like when vermin get to a corpse. And at first you look and you see, like, Jesus, like, there's got to have been dozens, if not hundreds, of these fucking things that have picked over this corpse. But as you get closer, you can see that the way that there's a lot of blood that's caked into these torn up or nipped apart clothing. Those are fresh wounds. And as you get over, it's the driver who's fallen out of this vehicle that's off to the side. In the passenger seat, there is another body that is equally picked apart. It seems as if somehow these two were set upon by hundreds of rats and then bit to death. The way that the vehicles come off, they must have lost control of the vehicle at some point. But that seems to be, just looking at the nature of the wounds, you know what fresh wounds look like as opposed to corpses that have been pulled apart. The amount of blood here... These people were swarmed by rats and died.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I get close and prod the first one with my boot. Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. I look down, look for dog tags first, and then try to see what anything else he's got on him.
Okay. Dog tags are... Let's see here. This will be... Eric Lopez.
All right.
He is... Oh, I'm going to completely blank on... officer, in any event.
Oh well.
Yeah.
All right. I say we should wake up Doc. I guess I'm assuming Doc's the one collects these things.
All right.
At least the one of them.
I'll open the back
Dad.
door and give him a shake.
What?
So, Doc, you get up and you look over. There's, as I described, there's a Jeep that seems to have driven off the side of the road. There's a body hanging out of it. And there appears to be a... well, I guess, what do you guys tell Doc when you wake him up? Tex, do you come back to tell everyone what you found?
Can they see what I'm doing? If not, I will if they can't see what I'm doing. But
I'll go and say,
see what I'm doing. I'll just wave over.
There's a Jeep over there, got some look like corpses in there. Tex is checking them over, but maybe you better have a look too.
I mean, I'm a good doctor, but if they're corpses, there ain't much I can do for them. But I'll grab a medicine bag and head over to where Tex is.
Okay. So you're seeing precisely what... I mean, you're a little bleary still right now, but you're seeing precisely what Tex is describing. I think now, because you guys are both so close to these corpses, why don't you both give us a coolness under fire check as well, too. It's only a 1 you need. And you get to benefit from morale as well.
Okay.
You go both fine. So, Doc... If Tex shares his suspicions as to how these two died, it's as you said. I don't think, like, absent medieval torture, you can't think of a circumstance like this. And I think that's...
He'll stare down at the corpse and I mean, yeah, rats make sense, but also don't really. I mean, how? He would have been driving, no?
Is there something in that nerd book you picked up?
At the game Tex, we can play it later.
I'm gonna check the other body.
Other body wears civilian clothing.
Okay.
There's no ID on them whatsoever. But let's take our mid-session break now. I'm going to see what the hell she's losing her mind over. Okay. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Sorry about that. Anna either really loves or really hates kids. Because there was little kids who were outside and they're taking their sweet time getting past the house. So, Tex, what you and Doc can tell is that whoever these people are, they seem to not be traveling. You would guess that someone has picked over things here because there's nothing in, like, the back the back's not secured on this kind of Jeep. So someone would have been able to get in and grab whatever they want, but there's nothing on here. You know what it's like when a civilian is traveling with an officer on NATO, with NATO equipment or vehicles.
Yep.
The officer's sidearm seems to be gone. There is a holster there, but it seems to have been picked out of it. It's not clear if the civilian was armed. And there would be telltale markings on the inside of here for what these two would have gone through before the final crash occurred or before they succumbed to their wounds. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I will leave it to your imagination to what the inside of that must have been like as they were struggling to try and get these things off of them. What are you guys doing?
Just collect our dog tags and then see if there's any. See if Cabby can see if there's any fuel in there. That vehicle.
Yep, good
The
idea.
vehicle been chewed, has the vehicle been chewed up too?
Vehicle's not. It's off the road, and it's likely suffered some damage, but you would have to take some time to... You would have to spend a shift to assess the full damage. It likely could get moving once again. Like, there's nothing... The front end isn't bashed in. These people lost control of the vehicle, and it suffered some damage, but it may only be cosmetic. The engine's not starting right now, but...
Tabby, go check if there's any petrol in it. Let's get it out.
You said you were American. Now you're saying petrol? What the? Dead giveaway. Is that, what do you call it? That meme of the, what do you call it? Inglorious Bastards? Yeah.
At least I didn't say benzene, so.
So with that Tabby, I think, hold on, let's see here, what's left. How much does a Jeep have in it? I wonder. I know from experience as a Jeep driver, there's going to be fuck all for fuel capacity, but let's see.
How many gallons per mile?
Fuel capacity, it says here, is higher with a fuel consumption of 2. Higher than what the civilian vehicle does. I can tell you that a fucking hatchback gets a lot better fuel economy than what my Jeep does. My Wrangler's not as effective, but there will be another 20 fuel that you'll be able to salvage from here.
Okay.
It seems that whoever was there, so if you spend time doing that...
Yeah. I'll siphon it off.
Okay. I don't think that's going to take the full shift, but Doc, do you think you're going to be able to get back to sleep after this? Or are you going to use some of your medication to get back to sleep?
No, I think he'll be too... Yeah, trying not to imagine how these two perish here. Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to sleep. But he'll be slightly worried possibly about... He'll go through any notes he's made about that illness that was rumored. Because obviously in the past, rats have been alleged or rightful carriers of this disease and such, so he's probably a little bit worried that if there's hundreds of rats swarming the countryside, the bubonic or other pestilence might follow, so that'll be playing on his mind.
It's definitely something that's going to be... So unfortunately, if you're not going to complete your sleep, that means it's going to be... You still would have one more stress then. And I'm just checking to see what happens when you don't get your sleep. Maybe you can sleep next shift, I guess. While you're doing that, why don't you give us a medic? Her sleep deprived is 78. Game is really well cross-referenced. So kids are back. Fantastic. So actually leave that one recovered, because maybe getting back into this work is good. All right, so you cannot heal stress, but you take 1 stress for each day. If you are incapacitated by stress while sleep deprived, you collapse and sleep for at least 1 shift. So this has been 1 full day now without sleep. So yeah, I think when you're sleeping, if you're sleeping in the day, you'll be able to you'll satisfy that, and then you'll be going. So I would think it would be the first shift after the full day. You would take it just to balance it. But yeah, what you can find is there's a lot of people talking about a lot of rats. Like, that's not uncommon in, extended, prolonged kind of, entrenched war for rats to come along, with these types of things. But curiously, what you do find, there's at least 2 other instances in the materials you've got where there's references to not to this kind of swarming. So if you're looking into specifically it's a complaint about how bold the rats seem to be. But yeah. And I don't know if there's anything like this is like you hear stories of like in plague-ridden times of them swarming, infants, but adults, I'm not sure there's anything in historical record that would suggest that has happened ever.
And from the way like the car, the injuries, does it look like the rats attacked them while they were driving?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a whole new level of nightmare to add to the repertoire.
Like, unless they had this many rats sitting in the back, and all being, you know, quiet at the same time, they kind of got far from where they were. So this may have happened pretty close to wherever these two were coming from.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't linger. Let's get going.
I do ask Campbell, friend of yours, to the civilian, of the civilian.
Are you going to inspect the bodies as well, Campbell?
No, I'll just say, no, doesn't matter. We've got a mission to do.
I can tell you, Campbell, like from a background perspective, you would not have heard of anyone like this. So, oh, you know, sorry, you guys were moving 2 hexes because these are going to be all the way down here and then ready to swing in under Shikachine. Okay, then it'll be the day shift now, guys. Doc, I think, is finally going to get some sleep, nodding off to his reading away, you know, dozing off about horrible rat swarm attacks.
I think Tex is going to try to rest, but not sleep. Or, I don't know, what if he should sleep too?
I'd better be on the lookout then.
So if you want to get some sleep too, Tex?
I think so.
Okay, so
There's
you
weird-
keep watch at night.
There's crazy people running around at night.
Okay. So Tabby's driving, and Campbell is keeping watch. Let me take a look here. You guys are moving into, looks like some hilly terrain mixed with plains. So we'll make the driving +1. And I'll make the driving +2, but the speed will be halved. Yeah.
+2, okay.
Ooh, let's do this. So you can take the +2 and move it half speed, which means it would take you 2 more shifts to get to the farmhouse. Because of the reduced speed, you're having to take more time getting through the overland terrain. Or alternatively, you could just take a +0, and get to the farmhouse today. What do you think?
What did you roll? Because otherwise
I
I'll
rolled it with
push
a
on.
plus. Yeah, I plussed it. It's up to, well, yeah, it depends if you want me to re-roll it or not, but...
Well, you will re-roll it regardless.
I'll push you.
Because I want you to make sure you have the choice of the 2.
I'll push you. Let's not get there at dark.
So it's just a normal roll.
Just a normal roll then, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you see.
Look at that.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Campbell, you're keeping watch. Would you give us a recon check, please? No modifiers. Nice. Tax and Doc, you each get sleep, so reduce your stress by 1, and you've done your sleep for the day. Okay. I really love the encounters. Like, I was wondering, like, 1 every shift, like, that seems like a lot, but, like, they just don't, a lot of them don't trigger. Depending on where you are. Okay. Which means you're able to make your way into the hills. And you have some pretty clear directions as to where you're going to go and who you were meeting. Have you shared any of what to expect, Campbell, with where you're going? You know, it's a farmhouse that's supposed to be south of Shikachine.
No, but as we're getting close, I'll let them know. So, guys, we're meeting up with someone. Call him Harker. But we've got to pick something up that's important. So hopefully he'll be there on time, and let's try and make this easy.
Okay. Let me bring you over to your approach to the farmhouse. Grab our survivors here. They don't call them survivors, they just call them player characters in the game officially. But survivors, I think, is what the NPCs or the player characters are called in Walking Dead, and I kind of dig that. Okay, let me move everybody down here. So I'm assuming you were all in... I think it's a little bigger. Hold up. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. You're all in the vehicle right now as you're coming on here. Tabby. Who's in the front seat, by the way? Oh, Campbell and Tex were sleeping, weren't they? No, Doc and...
Yep, so I think it's Campbell and Tabby in the front.
Okay. All right. So, guys, let me bring you over. I do really like this move party ribbon here feature they've got on this now.
You're on the left side, though, remember, Darren? On the left.
So, this is the farmhouse you're going to be approaching. It's on one of the kind of side roads. You have not come across anything else thus far. Campbell, you know that, or you would at least be expecting that Harker is likely to have pursuers. So there potentially is danger in... You may find him set upon by others. So... what would your instructions be as far as approaching? Like, carry on the road? Would you drive off the road into the...
No, I think we'd pull off behind those trees there, just to the 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And drop out. I'll just say to the guys, right, it's probably going... This Harker may have been pursued, so be ready for trouble.
Okay.
Lock and load.
Now,
Not that you've got a Garand, but there you go.
if you wish to move on your turn, it does. This game treats movement as an action, so you would use either a fast or slow action. As a single fast action, you can move 2 hexes without rolling a dice, and you can to move further, you make a mobility roll, depending on the modified by the terrain, and that's how many extra hexes you can move as a fast action. Yeah. So if you guys have pulled over, let's assume you're all in here, maybe. What you can see ahead of you. There's a farmhouse here. There is a barn here. And it looks like there is a second barn over here. The fields here are very high and overgrown grass. Probably was at some point a commercial crop, but the weather or the lack of care. This place looks to have taken at some point too some kind of artillery hit in the barn, so the barn is pretty damaged. But the farmhouse, from this distance at least, when you first approach, it seems intact. Now, Campbell, you could use, since you've got the binoculars, you could take a look and closer to tail at a distance if you'd like.
Yep. Let's have a gander up and down.
Okay. Give us a recon at +2, so 2 steps up.
check on that. +2. Okay.
So was that the result, or did not? No, it didn't come up yet. Okay. Nice.
It was sucky though. Should have done better than that. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, that is a success still. So, you could push it if you wanted to gain additional information, I guess. Do you want to push that 12, that D12?
Yeah, why not? Let's do that. These D12s suck.
So what you can see is the farmhouse is not, it's clearly abandoned. Like windows are busted out. It looks like at some point someone, a decade ago tried to board up the place, but those boards are all themselves either partly removed or, bleached by the sun and by a lack of attendance. It does not have the look of a place that has been occupied in a very long time. And that's what makes it curious that there is, on the outside of it, there is obvious signs of weapons fire. Someone has seemingly recently been firing at it. And I say seemingly recently because there are bits where there are clearly, boards that have been splintered, and you can see where the bleached outside and the inside that has not quite reached that state of aging differs. If you were to guess, there was a firefight here not so long ago.
Okay, I'll pass that along. So what do you think? Okay, split up 2 and 2 round the back. One of us go through the barn and get close, and someone else loop all the way behind the barns, go in the back. The front looks...
What are you calling the barn? Like this?
The brown building in front of us.
Oh, that's a barn. Okay. Yeah. And this is destroyed, you said, Kevin? This is the barn?
Much of it is. It's still, like, the superstructure is still standing, but the roof is collapsed in. Part of the thing has been blown away, and part of it has collapsed. There's no animals likely in there, but there's plenty of cover, and it probably is mostly safe for you to move through.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. So why don't we start? We're not going to make rolls for it, assuming you're going to be cautiously moving in. Why don't you guys move maybe 2 hexes at a time? Is everybody going in?
Safety in numbers, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
Okay. That fence has seen better days as well.
Mm-hmm. So I take it you're going around the right, Campbell?
Yep. That's gonna work the way along here.
Okay. So as you're getting in, Tex, you're seeing very much what Campbell saw. This farmhouse has likely been a relatively recent scene of a gunfight. Someone's been firing at people in the house. It's not clear that anyone's fired out, but if you look for shell casings inside.
No. Oh, in the barn, you mean?
Not in the barn, in the farmhouse itself, the gray roofed structure. Yeah.
No. Is this the front then here?
Yes. Yeah. And there are likely ways to go in the side. The doors are, I'm assuming, at the overhangs. So there's like a door in here. There's a door out back. There are windows and stuff you could probably crawl through if you choose to. But... You guys don't have any radios, do you? Or do you?
Nope, don't think so.
No. I'd like to probably climb in the window then. That's probably the smartest thing.
Sure.
If Campbell's come around the back, that'd be better.
Okay. So, and were you waiting for one another? or trying to coordinate? I didn't hear you guys talk about that, but your characters are more in the moment and, you know, or current military.
Yeah, I guess.
Would you have waited to see? Okay. So as far as you can tell, why don't, let's see here. Between Campbell and Doc, pick one of you to give us a recon roll, and you'll get +1 from the person helping. Tex and Tabby, pick one to do a recon roll, and get +1 from whoever's helping.
If I get +1, I get AA.
I suggest I
There
roll
you
them.
go for it. Tex.
Yeah. Okay. So, Campbell, as far as you can tell, there's absolutely no sign of life here whatsoever. There's not even like leftover chickens scritching around in this yard. This place has been abandoned for a real long time. While there was, haven't been talking about the weather. There is a fun weather mechanic in here too, but it's continued to be unseasonably hot, but it's overcast right now. So you can picture the kind of like early summer mugginess from a pre-spring storm. And there's not even thunder, you know, that is coming in here. There's just the sound of your cells and your gear kind of rattling around. Tex, you get up here and you cannot... Let me make a quick roll before I speak out of turn here. You can feel in your bones. This isn't necessarily an ambush. Somebody is watching. So you can picture you run up to the house and you're looking out at that field. There's fucking eyes out there somewhere. You can't see them, but you could just feel it. Campbell, I think the plan was for you to get, at least for you two to have eyesight on one another, you and your group and Texas group, before you move in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So picturing or poking around the side of those silos, you can see Tex and Tabby there. There's a sound of creaking metal as loose. There's a weather vane probably on the roof that kind of creaks back and forth as the wind shifts. Tex, you wanted to go inside?
Yeah, but now I feel like they're being watched. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Kind of, if you said it's kind of the presence feel like it's in the direction, or that, you know, uncanniness coming from the field. He's gonna
Yeah, it's
crouch down,
definitely coming from the fields.
crouch down and watch that area, and hopefully Tabby will pat me or when Campbell comes around.
Yeah, Tabby, when you see Tex crouch down, does Tex say anything to Tabby before he does so?
It probably just motions. It says, "Point to the field." A bit like.
Tabby, you can give us a recon check if you'd like.
Yeah, not good at it, but we'll give it a go.
So you're looking out there. You can't see anything, but the way Tex, is it your AK or do you have your scoped rifle out again?
I probably have that because this is probably a hotter zone than normal. I have the M16, the M4 with the M203. Yes, I'll look through.
Okay. So he's looking through his scope out of the thing, and you're looking out there, and all you see is just this, you know.
Yeah, I think instinctively I'll just copy Tex, though. I'll sort of crouch down and... Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So
Okay.
I'll get a bit of cover from the side of the building.
Campbell and Doc, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to shift you up to that back door. I'll sling my AKM and pull out my Beretta.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there is
I'll tap Tex to say that they've arrived, sort of thing.
Okay. what was I saying is this game. Sorry, this game for close range, it does give better modifiers, and also for shooting without aiming for pistols. So there's a reason to use pistols in certain circumstances in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you get up there, Campbell. You can't hear anything inside this farmhouse. The creaking of that weather vane.
How's the door?
Busted. The lock at least is, but it's still functioning. You can pull it open.
Okay. So I'll slide it open and I'll just whisper in, Harker, you there?
No sound.
And let's go in.
So making your way in, Campbell seems to know what she is looking for, but Doc, what's going through your head?
I think his main thought right now is that whoever Campbell is hoping to meet, it sounds like sure as hell ain't here, or will find is possibly their corpse. So he's preparing for this to go tits up.
Okay. So you make your way through here, and this has the appearance like, you know how like if you've been in an old, like an abandoned building, it reaches that stage where it loses any semblance of anyone actually having lived there and just looks like ruin. Where you go in, it just, there's discoloration and there's dirt and there's no furniture, and it is just like, it's a building, it's no longer a place where people actually occupy it. This place has not transitioned to that yet. You can see where there are still plates, you know, in the cupboards. There are some things that have been broken. Looters have clearly been in here, but some of those things, it has not yet lost the feeling of a place where people actually called it a home. And that's what makes it a little strange when you get into the living room, and from the discoloration of the very slight discoloration of the wooden floor, you can see there likely was a throw rug here at some point. Now gone. But what sits in the middle of this is a headless corpse of a African-American man. The body itself seems to have been wearing civilian clothing. It is severely damaged by gunfire or bullets from the looks of things. But, Doc, curiously, there's not nearly as many wounds on the corpse as what you would expect from where the damage to the clothing seems to be. But what does stand out is the wooden stake that seems to have been driven into this corpse's chest. I'd like both Campbell and Doc to give us a coolness under fire check, please. You can benefit from morale. Okay. Campbell, 1 stress. Doc, 2 stress. What do you guys do?
Does this look like Harker to me? From my description of him?
What you can see, one of the arms, the sleeve seems to have been torn away. And almost the entire arm is filled with the kind of like naval tattoos you would see in the 19th century. The inkwork, what's on them and whatnot. This is not a, like, you know, a kid wearing a sleeve of, you know, with a sleeve of tattoos or something like that. These are fucking old, someone who served on a ship tattoos. And there's nobody other than Harker who would have those.
Oh, shit. Got here too late.
Doc, What's going through your mind?
I think part of Dog is trying not to bring up breakfast.
Okay.
He's getting a bit too much, but then he'll sort of feel himself slightly and take a step closer, just drawn by the curious. He'll try to understand the wounds because they're not fitting the markings in the clothing and in the stake, the grotesqueness of like how did the head come off. So he'll step closer and was morbidly drawn just to try and understand what he's looking at.
Why don't you give us a medicine or medic check, please? I can't remember what the skill's called.
Medical aid.
Medical aid, okay. Okay. So, this body is so weird. The damage to the chest obviously is, still quite evident. There are gunshot wounds on here, but some of them are in various states of healing, and the damage to the head appears to have been, it's tough to tell what killed this person, whether it was there's enough gunshot wounds on here to have killed anyone, any living person. The stake through the chest, unsurprisingly, right to the heart. The wound to the neck, though, that seems to have been made with definitely not with any kind of surgical implement, and definitely with something small. The way that the incisions are made on this, it's someone using something probably the size of like a combat knife, or something a little bit larger, maybe a Bowie knife, to cut through.
And Doc tell if it was done peri or post-mortem?
There's something really unusual also about the wounds. There is nowhere near enough blood for this to have been the location. But the stake itself, if you do try and move the body in any sense, it's been driven down into the wooden floor.
Doc will look up towards Campbell and go, someone really didn't like your friend very much.
No, I won't say anything. I'll just get down there and go through his pockets, everything, frisk everything.
So it's a good impulse. And you know that if Harker would always have contingencies. And Doc, you're looking at the tattoos. The body, the physiology of this must be a person probably in their 20s, and fairly fit. Not bodybuilder, but like a fit individual. But the tattoos, these are the tattoos you would expect to see on an octogenarian, maybe even older. This predates the, irony poisoned 2000s. So this is not someone who is ironically getting this stuff. This is just it's another incongruent thing about a very weird body. Campbell, you don't find anything on him, but Harker would have had contingencies. He would have done something.
So, yeah, I'll be looking for the usual hiding places. There's a chimney, look up that. Look for any loose floorboards, anything. Quick scan around the thing at speed.
If you're checking around up here, you think, no, this wouldn't have been... It's too obvious in this room if he was going to be here, but there would be somewhere he would hide it. Where do you think he would hide? If there was something, he would at least try and get a message to you.
I'll get in the kitchen, look in the pots and pans. I think that's the place. It might leave a message or something like that.
So you start looking in the pots and pans, and then you're looking around, and then there's something that you remember. A distress phrase. A distress phrase that he would give to you is sometimes just the word salt. Or if you have more things, Valley of Salt. You would know this is a reference to Psalm 59 or 60, referring to the defeat for the kingdom of Edom in the Dead Sea region.
So I will go in there. I'll have a ferret. Is there any a box of salt in this place?
There is
In the
a
kitchen.
box of salt that seems to have been overlooked. And if you move it aside, what you can see is scrawled on the ground or carved into the side are the two words non abominabaris. And you would say out loud, Quia frater tuus est. Because that is the call and response for identifying yourself as part of Edom. Translates to, thou shalt not abhor the Edomite, for he is thy brother. If you open the salt container, you find that he has stuffed a postcard in there. And it is of a castle. And it says in faded lettering, Zerardo. And
Gerardo.
happen to know, we go back to our map. Zerardo is about 20 kilometers away.
Okay.
So, Doc, well, let's step outside for a moment here. Tex, you've been inside this farmhouse, or you've been keeping watch on the fields, and you still have not seen anything, but you know, again, something's out there. Are you just keeping watch until you hear otherwise from Campbell?
Yeah, I didn't. This wasn't like a. This is supposed to be like a meet and greet mission, not like take people out. So be emphasized quiet until necessary.
Okay.
I think.
So then, Doc, when Campbell leaves you and then he starts like looking around through the kitchen, and what are you doing? Are you still like examining his body, or are you following him along?
No, I think Doc will try to find out. Well, he'll look for the head,
Okay.
and also to try and find if the body was dragged from somewhere in the house or from a door. Like, he's still trying to puzzle how did this get here. So he'll be wandering around trying to figure out where they might have been killed.
Okay. So if you do, you do. So you're not able to find any other more likely location for this. You can't see, like, inside here, the interior of the farmhouse also looks like there's been a fucking firefight in here. Like, it seems this person was shot quite a bit, but seems to have gotten better very quickly, unreasonably, impossibly quickly. It also appears did not bleed as much as you would expect, and then seemingly someone was.
Does it look like he was fighting back? In terms of like gunshot markings in the walls.
It does not. At least there's. Well, it's tough to tell the difference between like where certain things are shot, but whether you would be able to identify defensive wounds, though. There's definitely defensive wounds on here. Like this person, if you look, at first you think, oh, it's wounds, and then you realize those healed up well. It must be someone else's injuries. Someone else's blood. So then Campbell comes back in. Campbell, you've retrieved this postcard. What are you doing?
I'll just say, come with me, we're leaving.
As you're leaving, you notice there is one thing written on the back of it. for him to have a pen in these circumstances unusual. It's French, but pretty easily understandable. Le Dragon Noir.
Indeed. Okay. So let's get out, and then I guess come round the corner to
Let's...
X and Tabby.
Okay. Just checking for... Here we go. Just checking skills. I want to get you to make a lore check, but I don't know what the heck skill. Here we go. Core skills. You know what? Is it on the screen? I hate to sound like a broken record here, but is there a full list of skills in this skill-based game on the screen?
There is not.
What?
Nope.
Failing grade.
But there's a huge number of critical injury tables.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man. All right, intelligence.
There's only like 16 skills, I guess. 4
Yeah.
per.
Let's use survival, recon. Why don't you give us a tech roll there, Campbell? This will be at plus, let's say +2 from your background. You're going to get a base level of information, but I want to see how much you've been privy to. You want to push that?
Oh, I'll push that, absolutely.
Nice. Okay, so a little stress. So one stress, one things. Le Dragon Noir is one part of a 2-part book set.
Uh-huh.
And it is one of the 2 necessary tomes for studying at the Devil's University.
Slipcase set.
So, this is an extraordinarily consequential thing. If
That's what we're looking for.
Harker has successfully recovered Le Dragon Noir, this is a key for understanding how the adversary has implemented his plan and how you might fight back. What is Campbell's mood having found this postcard and this news? I'm curious because Doc may be surprised by how she's reacting.
Grim and focused.
Okay.
I've got a place to go. I've got a mission to do. It's going to happen.
Okay. So if you rejoin everyone outside, Tex, you when you come around the corner, Campbell and Doc, you'd see Tex has got his weapon trained off, looking through the scope into the field. Tabby seems to be doing the same. This has been about...
Have we got visitors?
Oh, Tabby, this has been about like half an hour at least that you guys have been crouched in this position, like to the point where your knees hurt when you move once again.
Mhm.
You know, Tex is a ranger, so he's used to this kind of hard stuff. You're a fucking mechanic, who went through boot camp.
Yeah, as soon as Campbell and Doc come around, I'll just get up, start stretching. Oh, Jesus. Are we getting out of here? This place gives me the creeps.
I say, Tex, have we been watched?
Yeah, there's something out there. I don't know what. I got a feeling.
No, somebody was in that farmhouse and our contact's gone.
That kind of
We
feeling
need to
that-
get down the road.
Yes, I kind of feeling that a mountain lion's watching some sort of predator or something else.
So,
Go. Get the car. I'll cover you.
cool. So let's us leg it then.
Okay. So this is going to be early evening as you guys are wrapping up with this. So let's take a look back at the map. Oof, where are you guys sleeping? With this headless
Not in a
corpse.
farmhouse.
I mean, I got my. I mean, I don't know how good I'm at driving, but
Don't say Zakardov.
I would say get out of here and drive for a little bit. That's what I would say.
Driving at night in overland is more challenging than day. So you did get your sleep the night before, so you could do that. What are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking let's get away from this house because it's obviously been compromised, but then find somewhere to bunk down for the night.
So you,
Where are we going? Where are we going?
We're going to Zakardov, aren't we?
But you tell us, Campbell. Is this mission still on? That was some pretty fucked up shit.
Yep. We've got something to pick up, and I think it's in Zakardov.
Zerardo, actually.
Zerardo, okay. Ah. They need better funds.
In fairness, Zerardo appears to be the one that's actually in the wrong location. Zerardo's actually not far off from Warsaw. At least in the Google Earth that I was looking at, because I was trying to get a lay of what the land is like. So, where are you guys going to make camp in this hex then? Or are you going to try and spend this shift traveling?
Will this shift actually be dark, or will we be able to get...
It'll be dark.
I think we just want to get at least a few hundred meters away from the house and find somewhere to get off the road. That's all.
Okay. So why doesn't everyone put in chat what they're doing for this shift? This is the evening shift. Tax has had his sleep for the day. Doc has had his sleep for the day.
Okay.
I'm happy
Are
to
we
drive.
camping? Is that what we're doing, or are we driving?
So you would have used up 4 fuel as well.
Okay.
1 for each of the road hexes, and then 2 for the overland. Oh, okay, so you guys are driving today or this evening.
Well, aren't we just getting, a few minutes down the road and pull off?
If Tex reckons we're being watched, I think we need to put a bit of distance between us.
I say we drive. Abby's got cat eyes.
So driving at night halves the effective speed. That's the penalty.
Okay.
So what it would mean is that because it's half over land, you get halfway through the hex with a shift's travel. You want to do that? Get 5 kilometers between yourself and...
Yeah, let's put a bit of distance away from that creepy place.
Okay.
Then I will rest a bit as well, because I'm going to ponder what I've seen.
Rest or sleep?
Sleep if I can.
Yeah, you can sleep in the car.
Yep. Let's sleep then.
Okay.
Let's put 3 things down.
Okay. All right, so Campbell is going to sleep for the shift. Doc is keeping watch. So between Doc and Tex then, I think Tex has the better recon.
Right.
So why don't you give us...
It's a night though, I mean, right, so...
Let's see here first.
Watch.
Yeah, there is a... let's start with the driving roll once again. So this is fully in hills now. So no modifier.
No.
Tabby, so give us a driving check there, Tabby.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. And then Tex, give us a recon at +1.
No, nothing, no penalty for night.
Oh, hold up. Let's see here. Driving at night. No. In heavy rain, there's a modifier. But no, it's the speed is that you're trying. We're assuming you're not like hurtling along, I guess.
Right. Yeah, probably going
Oh,
slowly.
hold on.
And,
Visibility. Let me see here. 59, maybe. So page 59. Other modifiers. Here we go. Visibility. Weather and darkness also give you. Okay, no, it does. It does.
yeah, so it's a lot. Okay.
Dusk -1. And only dusk right now.
Yeah, so +1, -1. So
Yeah, so just make a regular recon check.
Yeah.
Nice.
that's,
You satisfied with that? Or you want to push it?
I'll push that 12 because I got
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Nice.
Another one. Yeah, another one.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. All right. So as you guys are pushing away from here, Campbell, you're going to be dead asleep, so recover 1 stress. As you're traveling through the hills off road here, it's about maybe about 3 hours into the shift when you guys come across this crest in one of the hills, or you're making your way around, and what you can see ahead is looks like a collection of 9 houses right in the middle of this valley that you guys are about to pass through. It appears as if it is a small village. Assuming that Campbell's lent you her binocs for this, Tex, you can look out and see there's barbed wire and sandbags that surround it, and you can, even in the dusk, you can see that there are around 4 guards who are keeping watch. And there's at least 10 people who are kind of out and about in town, probably more inside the buildings.
Okay. And they're lively here at night, or in, I guess, yeah.
They which, sorry?
They're out and about here at night, I guess, or is it evening?
Within the village itself, and then there's a barbed wire around it with sandbags set up, and there are 4 guards that you can see that are stationed.
At the checkpoint?
Yeah.
They're not, are they Soviet?
No, civilians. And this is in the middle of nowhere. Like, this is, maybe there's a dirt road that, or, you know, a trail that you follow to get out here, but this place seems to have been built up in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I mean, if we try to circumvent it, is that suspicious? I don't know. And we can't go around it really unless we go off road.
The guards are armed with AKMs, so they do seem to be armed with Soviet weapons, for what it's worth.
I'm asleep, so I don't know.
You can go around too. Like you've spotted them, so you could potentially go around. It's not going to add any travel time to you. It's just
Okay. I was going to go around. That's not where we're supposed to go, right? You did tell us where we're supposed to go, right? Campbell?
I'm asleep.
But you did tell us where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gerardov.
So
Due west.
Yeah. Okay.
if you're doing nothing else, then that brings you to the end of the evening shift. We'll be into the night shift.
While Campbell was asleep, Doc will have told Tex and Tabby what he saw in the house.
Oof.
Just so they're aware how I don't know what Campbell has told anyone, probably nothing. Yes, that's fine operational security, I get that, but
How does he
that's probably
describe
one
it?
of the most. He'll try to be sort of clinical about it and not let his possibly, sort of slight nervousness or panic come to the fore, so he'll focus on the just the clinical descriptions, but it's clear that it's
So
he
the
still doesn't quite understand what he's seen or how it all or why.
So this Harper fellow had no head, or he was dead.
I assume for most of his life he had, but when we met him, no.
Details.
And he had a
Someone
stake
clearly
in him?
didn't like the guy. It just doesn't make sense, Tex.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Is it some sort of execution?
I mean, yeah. I mean, but the wounds don't make any sense. Like, there wasn't enough blood. So it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. There's and Campbell is weirdly cool about it all. Like, she must be made of ice.
Well, yeah. You can never know what's going on behind them glasses.
I know, it's a bit freaky, isn't it?
Maybe she knows more than letting on.
Of course, she knows more.
Or maybe we
That's
should
always-
ask more.
Go ahead, Tabby. I've known Campbell a little bit. She don't say much.
I'll ask her in the morning.
Okay. So this brings us to the night. Unfortunately, no one's made camp yet. So do you want to make camp this evening and sleep in the morning? Or are you guys planning on continuing to push on? You've moved halfway through this hex so far.
Can we sleep in the car for a night, maybe?
You'd have to make a survival check and see whether... But that would mean the morning you'd be sleeping. Unless someone else takes the wheel and drives through the night and you catch your sleep. Because right now, Doc, Campbell, and Tex have had their sleep for the day. Tabby, you're the only one who hasn't.
I can keep driving. The Doc can keep driving.
Oh, maybe we should do that.
Okay. So you drive your way around this thing, and it is later in the evening, very close to the transition to night, when you guys can hear the sound of popping. Obviously, gunfire behind you. The sounds of things, it's quite a bit. There's a battle taking place behind you.
From that village, potentially.
Seems as if. Whatever the battle is, it seems to only last about an hour. And the gunshots die down.
Wow.
For our night shift then, Tabby, if you could put it in the chat what you guys are doing. I think Tex is driving, Tabby's sleeping. Doc or Campbell, or either of you keeping watch?
I guess I'd like more sleep, but I better keep watch.
Okay. And then Doc?
Yeah, he'll help keep watch. He's too on edge to rest.
Okay. All right, so then Anna says good luck.
Yep.
Let's see. No one's got night goggles, right? Night vision goggles? Okay. So I'm betraying myself as a non-elite gamer. I'd call them NVGs if I was a elite first-person shooter. Bush League player. So then, let's have... So Tabby's sleeping. It's funny, Tabby's the only one who's not rocking any stress still.
I know.
Jeez.
It's cool. Collective.
So, Tex is going to be driving. Let's see here. First, let's do Tex's driving. So you're going through no modifier for the...
Okay.
Yeah, no modifier for the light or for the conditions. It just means that this is going to be the last one of moving through this hex into the next one.
Okay.
And go ahead and give us a driving check when you're ready.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
Look at that.
Nice.
First time lucky. All right, so you're traveling through the evening. Now, keep in watch. The darkness is -2, I believe. Yeah, cloudy night is -2. But you get +1 from Doc, so it'll be -1 to your recon, Campbell.
A -1, okay. So let me put that one back to C then.
All right. Nice. Okay. What you can... Oh, let's see if there's any... You can smell it. The windows are down, I'm assuming, because you've easier view, no flat reflection from the dash lights or whatever. What you can smell is a fire. You cannot see it in the darkness, but if you were to guess, that village behind you is completely ablaze. And the smell of that burning is drifting off in your direction. There is otherwise no other significant instance. Are you guys going to the hex of the northeast, or the what would I say, the northwest, or the I don't know, top or down?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. All right.
We're going. Where are we going to here? No.
That's Gerardo.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So you're still making your way through these mountains. That's another 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another, I guess, 4 fuel consumed. So when morning comes, Tabby, you wake up, good night's rest. Tex hasn't crashed yet, but you have stopped for your morning break. There still is probably, I mean, I think at this point you're 10 kilometers distance. I'm not sure you'd be able to see the smoke from it, but there is definitely that smell. What are you guys doing today? It is now Wednesday, April 26th.
I think over breakfast I'll try and get a quiet word with Campbell.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yesterday, everyone would have used a ration, so there's 4 more rations gone.
And just ask. Doc was telling us what happened at what he saw at the farmhouse. What sort of crazy shit have we got ourselves into here? What are we
Best you
looking
don't
for?
know.
Well, I feel like if we know, we'd be better prepared.
We've got something to recover. It's important we get it. And we're
What
probably
is it?
going to need force. Documentation. And the company needs it.
The company. The 101st? That's more of a regiment, but what company?
You don't need to know. Let's just get this, get it over and done with, and get out of here.
What's with the execution? Whoa. Not seen that or heard of that before from the Soviets.
Don't know who did it. Nasty people doing nasty things.
Was that one of our men?
He was.
These people are strange. Maybe a bit sick around here.
I know, all the more reason to get away from here as fast as we can.
Right. Well, I hope we
This
find
place is clearly trouble.
hope we
Indicate
find
the
these.
smoke
Yeah.
in the background.
Let's
And
get
after
these
the next
doctors.
place, then what?
Then we can head for Krakow. So we pick up what we need, and then we hightail it south.
Well, let's get it done quick.
Swing back.
Okay. What are you guys doing with the morning shift? You can put in chat. How are we doing for supplies, by the way? I'm assuming you topped up... We haven't been talking about water, but I'm assuming you topped up water at the farmhouse. There is a well there, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm down to one because I think the group one's gone, right?
Yeah. The group note's not done.
There was I thought there was 14, and 8 of them were given to those Americans.
There's 6 left in the group. I've been
Then
using
we
my
used 4.
individuals. Yeah.
4, right? So we're down to 2 there.
Oh, if you're using those, yeah.
I'm using my own.
I was using my own
water.
as well.
I'll need water this today.
You guys would have refreshed at the farmhouse. There was a well there, so you would have topped up whatever things you've got, your canteens or whatever.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think? I guess to make it, let's talk about what you need. It's going to be 2 shifts to make it to Zerardo. What you find there is another question. Because Campbell, what you've got is a postcard of a castle, and it looks like a pretty easily identifiable place. It probably is a little like, you know, there isn't like tourist shit. There's the like little way of situating it on the city or the village. It's a similar type thing. So you can probably, once you're there, if you've got access to a local map or something like that, you could easily find this thing, or hopefully it'll be in a prominent location. You can just spy it.
Yep. Should be on the hill or something above the town, I'm guessing. So, I suggest we push on hard. As we say, let's get out of here, get it over and done with and out of here.
Okay. So Tabby's going to get back behind the wheel.
I will sleep.
Okay. Tech's going to catch some Z's.
Ooh,
You have to keep watch, Campbell.
As well. Oh, we were
I can
both
keep
on.
watching
We
if you
were
want to
both
sleep.
watching shit.
Oh, did you?
Okay.
Wait, did you sleep, Campbell? Wait.
No, we were both
Yeah.
on watch, which was a bit of a mistake.
You both
wanted to
slept
continue.
yesterday, so you will need to sleep today.
Nah, well, let's both sleep. Take the risk.
Well, it means it would be all 3 of you, because Tex is sleeping as well.
I can
Okay, I'll stay
hold
awake.
off. I can hold off sleep one more, I think. Because I slept in the car yesterday afternoon shift. Yeah, so I will keep watch, and then I'll sleep.
And I guess I'll sleep.
Okay. So then, I love that the RPG gives an actual like consequence for like, no, my God, I'm fucking sleeping right now. Okay, so then, Tex or Tabby, you're going through hills once again for this morning shift. So why don't you give us a driving with no modifier?
No modifiers. No.
Push that.
I will try that again.
Uh-oh.
And fail again.
Oh, right. Our first mishap while driving. I love it. Okay.
You're messing with my mirrors.
Why is this seat all fucked up?
I can't reach the pedals.
Car's only got 3 days, and then it hasn't hit that. How could you not?
Okay. So the mishap will happen about halfway through, so you'll be a quarter of the way there. Would you give us a 2d6 roll, please, Tabby?
2d6. Okay.
Let's make it something interesting.
Alright.
7. That is interesting. The driver makes a wrong turn somewhere and needs to turn around and go back. 1 hex of movement is lost this shift. So you've made 0 progress this shift. Tex, why don't you give us a recon roll, please? No modifier. 2 successes. Nice.
Yeah, that's the first one.
All right.
I didn't mean to exit.
No, you didn't need to push that. Okay. So, Tabby, what do you think it is that causes you to just get completely turned around here?
What's the terrain there? It's mountains, isn't it? Or
Mountains
hills?
and woods, yeah.
Woods and
Or
forests,
hills and woods. Mountains are the dark brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just because we're not following any real roads or anything. So I think it's just the lie of the land, and this sort of, oh, I'm gonna have to go round this. And just took a wrong turn at some point, and sort of just realised too late. Oh, we're gonna have to backtrack, and just got a bit off track and just going round in circles a little bit, and just wasted too much time. Then had to reverse what we'd done, and ended up spending a couple of hours in this rough terrain, not wanting to wreck the car. Had to find a safer route back, and yeah.
Okay.
It's a mess. I'm glad two of them are sleeping.
So it's not like you guys, Campbell and Doc, wake up at the exact same place. Campbell and Doc, you both lose 1 stress. And Tex, you got 1 extra success here, so why don't you go ahead and clear your stress as well. You just find like you're no closer to where you were before when you woke up this morning. 2 more fuel down though. So then with Campbell and Doc, you get up and like it's hard to tell whether you've made progress or not. Tabby, are you sharing with Tex that you've got fucking nowhere?
Well, Texas probably saw that we got nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got all messed up in this little valley or whatever. Gonna have to double back.
Okay. So you guys are up at midday, having your midday, break or your meal or whatnot. What is everyone planning on doing for the day shift?
Now I will sleep.
Now you'll sleep, okay?
Yeah, I'll try and make amends.
I'll go and watch.
Okay. And Doc?
I gotta get some rest.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a couple of days for you. All right. Then let's start with our driving check again. Tabby? No modifiers.
You can do a bit better this time.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice. All right. So you're making your progress this evening. Tex, you get your sleep for the day. Campbell, would you give us a recon check? No modifiers.
Possibly. I don't seem to have a character sheet at the moment. What's going on? My character sheet's grayed out. Here we go. Here we're back again.
Okay.
Sorry. Recon, no modifiers.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. So let me make a quick check for this. So Tabby is making some progress. Tex is asleep in the back. Doc is just resting, staring out the window idly. And Campbell, as you guys are making some progress through these hills, you see you must have been traveling down, at least a path that other folks take, because it's about, let me check distance. Distance for hills is... Okay. It's about 240 meters off. And what you see is, as you guys are kind of bumping along, someone steps out of the bushes, and they look like they're wearing the kind of like sturdy gear you would wear, or clothing you would wear while hunting. And they step out and they're kind of waving, hello! Or they don't say hello, whatever the... I do not know what the Polish phrase for hello is. So... They're waving at you and speaking Polish. I don't think any of the... Do any of your characters speak Polish?
Oh, yes.
Do you? Oh, excellent. Yeah, yeah. So you can hear someone is waving at you, Campbell. What do you do? Tabby, you see this as
I'll
well.
just shout out, what? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you lost?
Nope. Just heading away over to Ziradov.
You can see it looks like it's a pair of hunters. And the two of them step out. One of them is carrying like a brace of a couple of rabbits maybe. And they step towards saying, Zerado, are you refugees then?
More messengers. Got to pick things up. Carry things onwards.
All right.
Anything we should know?
Give us a persuasion check. And we'll give you plus... I think because you speak Polish, and because they're friendly, we'll give you plus 2 to this, so...
I'm already maxed out at 1. So let's go change that.
So is it AA
This
you're
is
rolling?
where I fail. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so you'll be able to get extra information out of them if you wish. Well, Zerardo is, they'll tell you, it's just, we're going back to sell this to some of the refugees. Since Katowice fell, almost the entire population, those that survived, have relocated to Zerardo.
Oof.
There's a
crowded.
huge enormous refugee population there. They're struggling to feed everybody.
Oh, there's a castle right there.
Yeah,
Is there anybody in that? So what's it used for?
the castle.
Old ruin? Or yeah, the castle.
Oh, it was a tourist place.
Oh,
Before
who's there now?
all this, it's changed over. There were folks in command there. It took a chemical hit, so no one stays there now. But
Oh, abandoned. Oof.
I don't know. Folk seem it wasn't radiation. But people think if you spend time there that you'll get sick with whatever was used there.
Yeah. Heard about this sickness.
Sickness.
Yeah, you were saying people feel that they get sick if you're around there now.
Oh, no. It was a command who was there. So someone came and used gas on them.
Okay.
They all died. And the refugees, someone got sick while staying there. But yes, sickness. The other person says, yes, what they said. Do you mean lack of color? Drained?
Yeah, I think I've heard that. So
Yes.
is that going on in Zerado? Huh.
Yes. And at those who stayed at the castle, they said they were sick afterwards, so no one stayed there since.
Well, my friend in here is a doctor, so I'm sure we can help out there.
A doctor.
Sounds like that's what they need.
So you at that sort of doc, you kind of get out of your reverie. So Guybring, he's actually got one of the hunters has a burn that he kind of brings over and shows you.
I will see if it's something I can make better.
Sure. If you like, you can just do that if you'd like, or you can make a roll. Your choice.
I'll roll for it just to see. So it's been a week, so maybe I'm not on my A game.
Fantastic. Yeah. The way that he talks about it, he says that like somehow he did not see something and fell into a fire. You get a sense of talking to this guy, he may have been drunk and fallen into a campfire, but you're easily able to treat this wound. To be honest, after gunshot wounds and fragmentation wounds and shit like that, like this is a relatively easy thing to treat.
This is what happens when you're distilling potatoes.
anything else you wish to ask of these guys? You still quite well in that role.
So, are there any military forces there? Or is it just...
He kind of looks over at your NATO companions. You might not be welcome there. It's the Soviets who are running it now. Or at least they were. But there's so many people. You could hide. You know, it's like, you could change. Get rid of those unicorns, no one would know. The way you speak Polish, you could be from Krakow.
But thanks for the pointer on that. Thanks. As you say, I could do without any more trouble. We just want to go through it and keep going.
They kind of, one kind of goes over and talks to the other, and he's like, one of them is not pleased by it, but the one that you treated, Doc, he's going to give you the equivalent of 3 rations worth of meat.
Ooh.
He's grateful for your treatment. He promises to be more careful around campfires in future. So that was your day. You've made half progress towards Gerardo. You're still about 5 kilometers away through some rough terrain. And dusk is falling. You guys want to camp tonight? I guess first off, like, do you have any other questions for these hunters, or do you want to talk about what you guys wish to do next?
Anybody got any other questions that they want to ask?
Yeah, if Campbell sort of translates what you've been talking about, the doc would like to know if the illness was just affecting the ones that were in the castle, or if there's been any signs of it spreading through the rest of the refugee camp.
There is some, it's always people who stay at the castle, and it's some who are in the refugee camp too.
It's spreading.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Your definition of fine, Campbell, is terrifying.
Then, if there's nothing else, dusk, the hunters will get on their way to, go and make their camp wherever. Tex is woken up afterwards. Tex, where do these rabbits come from?
Oh man, that's nice.
What do you guys want to do for your evening?
Do you want to camp out?
I guess
camp ready and go back to normal.
Yep. Get a night's sleep. Get there in the morning.
Yeah.
Still point. Turn up too late.
So I guess I will try to set up camp.
Okay, so Tex is going to set up camp. What about Tabby, Campbell, and Doc? Get forward, get scrounge. You could break down, Stu. I think one of the tasks is breaking down stuff, because you've got some of that gear, or that stuff you collected.
I can't see that.
I'm imagining things. Where is it? Maybe under repairs. Repairing gear, 91. That's gear, but I wonder about vehicles. How often do vehicles need to be maintained, Carl? Do you remember if that's part of the...
I mean, I guess you should probably do like a maintenance every day, maybe, but I don't. It's been so long because there's always like downtime.
Here we go. So if you spend a shift scavenging parts from one or several pieces of gear, you make a tech roll and you manage to extract a number of spare parts from the corresponding type: weapon, vehicle, electronic, or general, if none of the others apply, equal to the number of successes.
Yeah, so that electronic gear and that mechanical or that other stuff.
So that's scrounging, is it?
Scavenging.
Oh, scavenging.
Yeah. You make a tech roll if you want to break some of that stuff down. So I think there was one thing that was like two. I mentioned what it was, but I think one's electronic, one is
lawnmower and desk lamp.
Okay. So you want to break down some stuff, Tabby?
Yeah, in case we need anything for the car or any other spare parts we might need.
The Campbell, does that leave you keeping watch?
Yep.
Okay. So let's start with making camp. Tex, give us a survival check, please. And I don't think there's... Hold up. I don't think survival's affected by... No. Survival's not affected by the terrain.
Okay. I'm gonna push it.
There you go. Okay, so survival... Is survival physical?
It's intelligence based, so
intelligence. Okay, so it's stress you get then. All right, so Tex is getting things set up. Tabby, why don't you give us a tech roll, please? No modifier.
Okay. Yep.
Nice. So one piece of one of those you could break down. Either one general...
mechanical, in case we need something for the car.
You got it. Doc, would you give us a survival check, please? And hold on. In hills, no modifier for foraging. You want to push that?
Yeah.
Ooh. A little stressful. I think that Doc may have gotten himself lost at one point.
Yeah.
So, and Campbell, would you give us a recon check, please? No modifier. Oh, it's dusk, so -1.
No. So, I guess it... Oh, so... Shall I re-roll?
Yeah, maybe re-roll. Sorry, I failed to give you the thing. Just with -1 to your recon. You want to push it?
I'll re-roll. Yeah. There we go.
There you go. All right. Let's see if anything interesting happens.
Oh, I found vehicle maintenance. It's on page 91.
Excellent.
So I can read it if you want. I'm there.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, during each week that a vehicle has been driven 1 hex or more on the travel map, a mechanic needs to spend a shift to service it and make a tech roll. If you don't, then you lose reliability.
Ooh.
1 step.
Cool. Okay.
I knew it was in there. I just haven't used it for so long.
No. Your crew seems to be much more organized.
Yeah, you got people that just assume someone does it at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so then it is otherwise.
Krakow Kasha says hi, by the way.
Sorry?
Krakow Kasha says hi.
Okay, hi back. Let me see here. The evening then is uneventful. You guys have your camp set up, and you have some stuff broken down. Campbell, nothing comes across here. Doc, you're unsuccessful in the foraging, but you managed to make your way back to camp. What's the mood like as the night is falling? What's the mood like around camp? As a reminder, you spent the day getting lost and then running into some friendly hunters.
Yep. So Campbell, we've been friends for a moderate amount of time. Are you sure there's anything you shouldn't tell us? We're buddies, right?
We're just gonna have to
do some split,
What we're doing is important. We're just gonna get into that castle, get something, and get the hell out.
Will it help us win the war?
It will. Maybe even more important than that. I don't think this war is winnable, but there's another thing that we've got to make sure doesn't get worse. So we've got to try. But that castle's going to be risky. I won't deny it.
Yeah, you got 3 out of 4 of you guys are in uniform. And for the purposes of Zerardo, the wrong uniform.
Yeah. Not to like sneak, park out of town and sneak in at night.
Yeah, maybe we can find some clothes from the refugees. The place is swarming, apparently.
Swap some food for some clothing.
Yeah.
But we might be will be noticed. People will know that 3 in this matching color came in, even if we then change clothes, where it will possibly spread.
Not if the one goes in first.
Right.
Yes, yeah, Campbell, if you want to go and use your charms.
There's probably a lot.
We
There's
do
probably
have
a lot of lost people in NATO uniforms as well.
maybe, but we do have ammo and a few extra guns also.
Time for a good night's sleep.
Okay.
Agreed.
Doc and Campbell, so Tex slept in the morning. Who else slept today already?
I slept during the second shift.
Oh, was it at day
Yeah.
I slept during the day, I think.
or
Tabby
morning?
needs to sleep.
In the morning, I slept, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So Doc and Campbell,
slept.
you have your morning sleep. Tex has slept already, so it's only Tabby that needs to sleep. So why don't you guys put in chat what you wish? We'll assume Tabby's sleeping for the eve or the night.
Got to be fresh for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tex is keeping watch, and everybody else is sleeping.
Well, wait.
Okay. So then, I already did the draw for that. So Tex, everyone else is asleep, and now you are awake tonight.
Yeah.
Campfire is burning. The 3 of your colleagues are all asleep. Sorry, Darren, we assume Tabby's sleeping tonight for the night
Yeah,
shift.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tex, what are you thinking here? You didn't see what was inside that building, and you didn't see what was following you.
Well, something has been following us, I'm sure. I mean, the burning village behind us. Yeah. I'm just gonna. I don't know. You really can't take extra precautions. You just watch as best you can.
Okay.
Hope your camp is set up, but he's definitely very wary.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, let me grab. Oh. Okay, Doc, Tabby, Campbell. Make an adjustment here, guys. All right. Oop, that's as far as that one is. Okay. Go to this here. All right, let me bring you guys over to the map here. Go. And I'll shift ping you. So this is somewhere in, I picture you got a little, nook or area where you're camping. Gibbs, you got your campfire burning outside. If you guys look underneath your tokens here, you can see there is your vehicle. Look at that immersion. Holy smokes, guys. Yeah. Gibbs, would you give us a recon check, please? You can take one step up in it as well, because I think you've been keeping pretty careful eye on it. Or on things. Nice. Okay. Then, and remember, just those who are stealthing, they need to beat you. So, like, I would normally sometimes fish for you to roll again, but with one, it would be 2 that would be needed to beat you. So unless you wish to try and get a second success out of that.
Oh yeah, I think I will roll that d12 again.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh no. Well,
Okay.
these are not stress.
Okay. All right. Then you are keeping watch, and you happen to notice there's the sound of someone walking right near where the camp is. And let me get... I think. The... Yeah, that's probably will work. She's younger than this, but as someone younger than me would say, vibes are, I think, correct on this.
Okay.
You did not see her, but you had her described to you by Tabby, what she saw.
Okay. Ooh.
And that Soviet woman, or woman dressed in a Soviet uniform with blood red eyes and blood coming from her eyes, has stepped out and is standing where, let's put her right here, where she is just looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give us let's see here. I think it'll be a coolness under fire check. And I will let you draw on morale. I think technically we should have been adjusting morale as we go along through the session, but it's something to know for next time. I think you also... Yeah, you can draw on morale because it's part of your dream, right? Is taking care of the folks.
Moral code, yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and give us a coolness under fire check, please.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So what you can tell, the extra success you've got in there, she's looking at you and just grinning. You can feel as if, like, it's something you've not experienced before, ever. But there's something where she is whispering in your mind. It's almost like she is hovering behind you and whispering something to you, though her lips are not moving, and it is only her eyes that are looking at you. What do you do?
I'm going to say you need to step away from the camp. You've been following us for a while, I guess. Dangerous out there by yourself.
She
I do level the gun, though.
looks at you, and there's a feral grin that goes across her face, and she just simply repeats back in broken English, "Dangerous out there." And you can see there are huge fucking canine teeth that are sticking out of her mouth. Let's draw some initiative. So,
Okay.
Tex, do you have... I can't remember what it's
Yeah,
called. Coolness
I
under...
draw 2. Yeah.
Coolness under fire? Yeah. So you get 2 and she gets 2.
It's called
Not coolness under fire. What is it called? Battle hard or something like that?
Combat advantage or something. Combat awareness.
Combat awareness. Right. Because I love how the adversaries have them as well. So, okay. So 2 for you, 2 for her. I'm just going to draw them. I know I can manually put them in, but just we're in our last like 10 fucking minutes of this game. A 10 or 1.
Oh.
Cannot imagine which one you're going to want.
I think I might take the 1.
A 3 and a 8. So you could see just battle-hardened reflexes. You can see she's about to charge in towards you. Gibbs, what would you like to do? Fast action and a slow action.
I will open fire. I can aim at open fire, can I? Because
you can.
It's a slow action. Yeah, so I'll do that.
Okay. So you aim at open fire. So you're not suffering any penalties. It is short range. So no modifiers for that. There's no issues with visibility. She has positioned herself in a place where you can clearly see her. I forgot to roll for weather again, so there's no rain. So go ahead and give us your... I think you can go under the if you click on the weapon, I hope it'll show...
Yeah. All right. So no modifier, right? Just straight up.
No modifier, just straight up, yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm firing the M4A1.
Give it an Oh, and our rate of fire. How much ammo are you expending, if any?
Yeah, I don't... It says 6. That seems kind of not correct, but solid GC 3. That seems like a lot for an M4. It's not a... Is that right?
I'll double check. Let's see here. The M4. I've got my cards out.
They have it there. I like that.
Yeah, it could be right. I mean, like that's you roll for M16, M4. M4 has rate of fire of 6 for the M4.
The A1. Yeah, the A1.
A1.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you click however much ammo you're using, then go ahead and click, as it'll include on the weapon, because it'll include all that shit in there.
I will do it. Okay.
There you go. That is 1, 2, 3. Oh, and if you rolled... Hold on, no. If you rolled...
1, 2... Yeah, I rolled... I used a lot of ammo. 9, 15...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
20 rounds.
Yeah, so that is... you start opening fire on her. That's 2 damage. Crit's only 3, though. So that is...
It's 4 damage. 4 damage.
4 damage, right. Yeah, because
it's 5 damage.
Yeah, because there's 1 for each success, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 damage on her, which also means a crit. Go ahead and roll... here, I'll roll hit location. I got my dice here. Roll hit location dice. Right in the fucking chest. So... Nice. Go ahead. Oh, it's on the screen. I can use the screen. There's no skills on there, but who's laughing now, Crit? Give us a D10 roll, please. Internal bleeding. Fall down, cannot run, only crawl. So all of you are completely awakened by the sound of Tex just fucking emptying his... Not emptying his clip, but like... filling this woman full of rounds. All of you kind of jerk awake in time. So Tex has stopped firing, I think, in the time that you guys have finished. You all wake up. What are all of you guys doing? Having heard this.
It's the woman, Campbell, Tabby, Doc. The woman.
I'll be scrabbling for my AKM at that point.
Okay.
I scramble to my feet to reach for a gun.
Okay.
Heart racing.
Yeah, I think I'll be looking for cover and grabbing any weapon that's, to hand.
So you all sort of scramble to your feet. Gibbs seems to have his weapon trained on a fallen body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last thing we see in our session is that hand kind of twist as she begins to get herself back up.
What the fuck?
Perfect. And that brings us to the end. Unfortunately, we are out of time. So
Yeah.
that brings us to the end of our Dracula Dossier and Twilight 2000 mashup, Le Dragon Noir. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this charity one-shot. This is our final mashup session combining one RPG adventure or campaign with a game that it is not designed to be played with. I had so much fun running this one. As is always the case for those at home, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game or the campaign, again, the material I use for this is mostly drawn from the director's handbook for Dracula Dossier, and it's just astoundingly flexible campaign. I also use some material from the the basic field manual. This is where I got your intel, James.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a biblical scholar. I just happen to have it references the kinds of communications that you use between them. Let's see here. There also, of course, Twilight 2000. We didn't use anything beyond the core box in this one. The maps I use are from Black Madonna, but for the farmhouse and for we never got there actually. So yeah, we didn't get to the castle. But otherwise, this is all stuff from the core book. This is just how the game is played as usual. But if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game, the campaign, or the adventure session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to our charity campaigns, as well as channels dedicated to most of the other games we run on the channel. If you have any, there's also, in addition to that, Find a Group channel, GM chat. There's a really terrific community that's built up over the years over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity campaign that made this possible. We have big plans for next year, but we'll be sharing that at the end of the year. I mentioned at the outset of this is December 21st. So everyone's about to kick off on holiday. We on the channel will be on holiday from now until December 28th, and we'll be returning then for a 5-part One Ring RPG mini campaign. 5 parts covering 5 seasons and 1 year. 1 year and I guess another 3 months. So we'll be back then for that, and then I'm also going to do my end of year thing. That'll probably be either on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day. So I'll do my year in review. I don't plan to fall behind on that either, and we'll talk then about what plans we got for next year for the charity sessions and some other fun stuff that's in the works. There's also if you want to make a donation to the Hero Save Villages campaign that made the session possible, the link is down below. If you are looking for a tax write-off as well too, it is a tax deductible thing. I genuinely can't remember if it is in other countries. Canada for sure, but I thought that one of the George has made a donation to it before, and he said that he got an American tax receipt for it too. So you can make donations at least from those 2 countries. The UK, I don't know. The last time I tried to do it, a UK charity thing, I got told that I couldn't use my credit card for it because it was a North American credit card. So for the last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart players. So Darren, Carl, James, and David, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This was such a fun way to wrap up our mashup sessions, and had just a total blast. I can't believe we got so much. I can't believe so much happened over the course of a 4-hour session too. You know,
we made a lot of movement in.
A lot of movement, a lot of little scenes went on. Yeah, I really love that there's a lot of. It feels like the travel is not like a little bit and then a whole bunch of shit happens. It feels like there's good reasons for moving around. So
that's a good they're good procedural, good pre-league procedural. They're good at that. So
100%, yeah. And this is I love this game. I think it's kind of thing I would just love to keep playing to see what happens, you know. And I think it does pair surprisingly well with Dracula Dossier, I think. If you want to add a little different, there's a published 2-part kind of, you know, adding supernatural to your Twilight 2000 thing published as part of their like workshop, Twilight workshop thing that you can find. It's got some, if she lasted more than one round of of combat, I would have been using stats for her from that product. But yeah, there's some great stuff for this to add to the world. But anyway, for those listening at home, last thing I'll say is if as is always the case, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our survivors were encountering as they're just trying to recover. A simple book. I mean, how hard could that be, Campbell? Come on. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, happy gaming, and happy holidays.